Meeting for Monday, January 12th, called to order at 6:38 p.m. Review of the surplus equipment request, the wastewater department, POTW number 2, Lime Tower, third read. Any update on the lead question?
I asked again at the end of last week, and I told them that you'd be meeting about it tonight. I have not gotten a response yet, other than they would follow up.
What would you all like to do with that?
So I have no concerns other than the waiting for the lead requirements. So barring that, we can move it to move the item to surplus and wait for the lead requirement before allowing them to move ahead.
That sounds like a motion to me.
Same. Yeah, I think that'd make sense to me.
So I will second that motion. I'm in agreement with Bill that we can declare it a surplus and move it to scrap pending satisfactory results of the lead test.
Which I think effectively means we want to know the answer and then ensure that they handle appropriately based on that, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
we just need an update when they know.
As soon as I get those results, I'll make sure the three of you have that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Surplus property request, administration department, freezer, third read. Any discussion?
No concerns,
No.
again? I make a motion, we move, deem the used chest freezer in the town hall to surplus as of today's date, January 12th, 2026.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The end result that's in front of you tonight was accepted last week. I will just say that there were some comments and feedback from citizens, boards, and commissions that are included in the document. But the group that voted decided we would keep it more as a high-level document to maintain flexibility so that when applying for grants, we didn't want to be so granular that we limited ourselves in what we might be available for. So I think the end result is a great document that will take us through the decade. And I'll say one great piece that I didn't expect to get in the final packet was a list of hyperlinks of grants that are out there that we might be able to take advantage of. So I thank our partners for providing that, partner being FERCog.
Very nice. Any significant items that were included or modified from the feedback? I mean, we had some comments from the table from here, which I know, were important, and I believe I saw them all in there.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say there was anything like drastic or any outliers. Like I said, there were a few things. I believe there was some commentary from Concom. Was it Jackie? So those comments are reflected in the document, but we specifically as a group thought that we wanted to stay high level for the reasons I mentioned. But it's
Makes sense.
a very thorough document.
It's a lot in it,
Lot
that's for
in it.
sure.
Good job.
Yeah, good job to the team.
No,
A lot of
it's-
effort in there.
A lot of good input from all stakeholders, so.
I didn't really notice anything of note or anything that I saw we should make any changes with, so, Bill?
No, I have no concerns, and all the changes that the changes that I mentioned were incorporated in the document, and I didn't see any language for a motion on this, but
It's just simply a vote to approve and authorize submission to the state.
say that again, Brian?
If the three of you are prepared to, we're looking for an authorization to approve the plan as presented and authorization to file with the state.
I make a motion to approve the open space, the 2026 open space and recreation plan as presented, and to send that plan to, and approving that plan to be sent to the state.
I will
And
second that.
with the date of January 12th, 2026.
I will second that. Sorry,
As amended.
I jumped the gun.
All good. All those in favor?
Aye.
And thank you again to the team.
And if you all recall the last time you did this, every once in a while the state has some feedback or some requested edits. So in the event of that, we'll make sure that the three of you in the Open Space Committee are informed. If they're minor, and that was the case the last time, we just authorized our planners at FERCog to make the changes and resubmit. But if they're substantial, we'll make sure that we bring them back for a review publicly and make sure you're comfortable with the change. I don't anticipate that, but those are the next steps.
Excellent. Review of meeting minutes. We have 12/22/2025 and 1/5/2026.
Make a motion, we accept the meeting minutes of January 5th, 2026 as written.
That was January 5th? Yeah, okay, second.
Any discussion?
None?
All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion, we accept the meeting minutes of December 22nd, 2025.
I will second that for discussion.
Discussion?
One minor note, I believe it's a grammatical error, but under review of surplus equipment request for POW2 Lime Tower first reading, first sentence reads, select board members conducted a second reading of the request, so I believe that first sentence should reflect first reading.
Correct.
Yep, first read. Good catch.
Other than that, I have no other.
Was the other one in there too? Did you check that one? The freezer?
I believe the freezer was correct, but
Okay.
as long as we're here, let's
Just scrolling to make sure since we're there. Yep. Looks good to me. So,
So was that amendment to change
Yeah.
2 to 1? I second
Yes.
okay,
that
Motion.
amendment.
amendment. All in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor of the minutes as approved? I'm sorry, say that again. All in favor of the minutes as amended?
Aye.
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 Thank you, Joe.
Welcome. believe other than IT, the rest of the items were for joint or executive, correct? Oh, review and approval of the treasury warrant. Get that out of the way.
That's correct.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the 14th payroll warrant of fiscal 26 in the aggregate amount of $241,474,063.63.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion that we approve the 14th benefits warrant of fiscal 26 in the amount of $40,799.77.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You are welcome. All right, with that, the last regular item was the Information Technology Department staffing discussion. Joint meeting starts in about 10 minutes. I was going to let people get settled in about 5, but I don't know how much you guys have to discuss, if you want to start that now or not.
Might as well make use of the time. We can start it and then resume afterwards.
Okay. I'm going to recuse myself as a board member at 6:50.
Noted. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, yeah,
In case I need to take any notes over there.
I'll ask, did you receive any feedback from the parties?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. So I did speak with Pete Sanders the other day. In terms, explained the nature of our intent and to review the position's needs moving forward. To just highlight, there was one comment regarding software needs, mentioned a program called Tokay that was for tracking some testing, I believe, backflow testing. So they have been doing that manually. They'd like to get a laptop and get it back. In terms of hardware needs, he only expressed maybe a need for an updated desktop workstation. And then staffing needs request moving forward was that if we do create a position that have availability during normal working hours for assistance, which they said, no major complaints, no issues understanding. Everybody has a certain amount of time they're available and battling multiple priorities. So I thought it was a very simple short list. We did talk about, at a very high level, future needs for infrastructure security, the technology elements of it, touched on some of the grant funding possibilities for that through cybersecurity and whatnot. But overall, there wasn't anything that was like crazy, nothing emergent from them. So I have not touched base with any of the others that I was going to speak with.
Okay.
Again, everybody's fighting the same 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
So that was that. Do we have any feedback on the job description sample or any thoughts?
Yeah, I pretty much, I reviewed it today for the first time. And I've gone over a few times. I've written some notes. Thank you for putting that together. That's a good job. First draft. I made some notes in a couple of places under special requirements. I think we should add, can add, that the applicant obtains CGIS compliancy as a special requirement. I looked up that chapter and section, and it says all employees with access to CGIS must have basic CGIS security awareness within 6 months. And IT, on the IT level, a level four training as well. I don't see why we shouldn't include that in the special requirements, just to give further knowledge of something that's required and needs to be done fairly quickly once that person comes aboard.
That is a great point. Thank you for picking up on that.
Other than that, under knowledge and ability and skills, you just touched on cybersecurity, I think. Overall, in town hall government, that's going to be a wide concern for all departments. So I'd like to touch on that as well. And I think before we put this out, I'd like to have a conversation about whether this is an hourly position or a salary position, and it appears that we're all looking at a salary type position. I would suspect that the applicant, once hired, would have some leeway as to the hours, when those hours would occur, whether it's a day or night as appropriate. And what else did I have? And before advertising, I'd like to have a discussion about starting salary position. Where this applicant's going to fall, especially with the change of educational requirements from an associate to a bachelor's with several years of experience. So I think it would be helpful that we have that discussion and figure out where the applicant's going to fall, or where that range of salary.
No, I agree, and to your point about the type of position it would be, based on need and the things that Jake shared with us the last time, and I envision this as being an FTE salaried position in a department head capacity as this grows. Now, it might be a department of one, but or it might be a department of 1.5, but based on a lot of the requirements that we've identified, this fits squarely within the industry of an administrator's position. There's a little bit of network administrator, a little bit of systems administrator, a little bit of security administrator, a little bit of so those typically come with an admin designation, and based on training and experience, the specific requirements. Yeah, I have a ballpark of what that compensation might look like, and when it's appropriate, and when we have this really close to finalized, we certainly will need to discuss that. But Jake, from the inside view in your position that you've been filling it for the town on any feedback on your first run through it, or?
I just got it over the weekend, so I haven't had a long run through it. I looked it over really quick. I think it's a great start. I think it covers a lot of areas. I think there's some nuance in there that Bill touched on some. I think there's some things to add. CGIS. I'm looking for what might be the right, if we're specific or you want to be about a cybersecurity, either training or certification that's appropriate for what you're looking for, et cetera. But I definitely think it's a good starting point. I think there's some more to add to it. And for example, Jim, you mentioned about, whether it's 1.5, whatever that looks like, and it's specific that it doesn't manage. If you want to make that change later when that's decided, that's fine.
Yeah. Or
Maybe change that language to, may oversee instead of does not oversee employees, for example, those sort of things. So I'll have more for our next meeting, more commentary than I have right now.
All right. Well, Bill, anything else for now, or we can certainly, I noticed it is 7:01.
Okay.
So we can,
Want to come back to it after?
yeah, we can
If needed.
table this talk for now,
Okay.
and we'll review it later. So
Sounds good.
can rejoin the board in your capacity, and we can
We'll get
not
CGI
keep
meeting.
our colleagues waiting.
Thank you.
Come on down. Yeah. This is The Price is Right. First round.
Thank you. Back at 7:02. And with that, I'm going to call the joint meeting with the Finance Committee and the Capital Planning Committee to order at 7:02. Everybody get up here and get settled.
Do you have additional packets for my other two members?
I believe that's where Brian is.
Okay.
He stepped out a moment ago, I think, to finish getting everything for us. So, should be. We're attempting to use the senior center copier as a heavy duty. What's that? Ah. It's not the workhorse that we're used to in town hall. That's what that is. Does everybody have the packets they need, or we got everything you need? No? Yes? Okay. You didn't print the order, did you? It's okay. Just checking. That's just checking. All right, everybody ready to get going? All right, we're going to switch it up and move police to the last and related to the last item for budget and start with fire tonight. Chief Wonka, you are up first, sir. So we'll do budget, capital, and then we'll do the fire truck last.
What's that?
For you. We'll do budget and capital, and then we'll do the fire truck last. The procurement before we let you go. So everyone has the packets in front of them and have had them to look at. Anything in the narrative that you'd like more information on, highlights from the current year, challenges, goals, initiatives, etc.? I'll ask the status on the additional staff member. I know there were some changes there, and so
So an offer was made to one, and that turned out to be a negative. So an offer was made out to the second candidate, and they just got back to me the other day and said, thank you, but decided to go in another direction. So we're kind of back at stage one.
okay.
So I think we need to have you and I need to have a conversation about how we want to proceed forward on that.
Okay. Sounds good. Any other questions before we jump into the budget?
None.
All right. I'm just going to say I love that everyone's budget is magic this year. You may not see that, but all the printed ones say magic next to them.
Is it magic?
Hopefully it's magical this year.
Oh, they do.
Any specific highlights or commentary about the budget that you think we should know about?
So the only thing I didn't really touch was I adjusted the workforce salary except for my own, because we're supposed to go into contract. I have to renegotiate my contract this year. So the employee salary was at the new step levels. We do have one promotion in there. But other than that, it came in pretty level funded.
And
The only other caveat, I would say for the most part, there was a slight increase overall across the budget. Wasn't much of one. The unknown still relies on that, the EMT or the EMS line item where we're still unsure on where both of those contracts are gonna lie at the end of the year. So I put in the high expectation with hopefully them coming in a little lower.
And you all may recall, but just in case, the top line subtotals and variance to budget includes special articles, so it throws it off quite a bit.
Yeah,
If you go down to
That
the,
trips me up every single time.
I know.
Is there any way we can pull those out at
I've
there?
asked them to please do that, and I'm waiting on a response.
Okay.
Yeah. The
Because
only,
it's a shock when I look at it, like, what?
yeah, let's subtotal those two things separately. So if you look at each top level, like the 100 salary range, the 200 ordinary expenses, that top line is that section's variance. So salary and wages, obviously we haven't come back as we planned, so we'll have to put that on the agenda with the finance committee to talk about what we're going to do for potential market adjustment, because we didn't do that beforehand, so that's not in here yet, just as a baseline. It's just the step changes. And then your ordinary expenses do show an increase.
Yeah, it was minimal if I remember, right?
Yep, 1,900, but it doesn't follow the level funded guidance, so.
So did we not, I thought we discussed having a percentage put in for the an increase for salary and wages. We did not?
We were going to attempt to address that in December. We haven't had a chance to do that.
Okay, all right.
We talked about doing it in a planned future meeting that we then didn't end up having,
Okay,
or weren't prepared to do because we fell behind on the budget process with
Yeah.
some other things that came
gotcha.
up. So
Okay,
we never actually revisited it. We said we were going to before submissions were due and didn't get there.
I realize it doesn't follow the level funded guidance. I was very leery on reducing the energy lines and the oil lines with the the unknowns on where those are gonna lay, because we're seeing increases in the energy lines on both stations, from both providers. And we had some increases to, software pricing and increases on dues on some of the stuff that we belong to.
Any specific questions otherwise on operating budget?
I don't think so.
Your maintenance line, it looks like we reduced it 2 years ago, but it's not something that you usually spend much of.
That's the hope, that we don't spend it.
Okay.
I mean, we can reduce that down to level funded across the boards.
I don't know if that's the right answer. I was just asking about it.
I mean, we keep it in there for the just in case, because some of those truck expenses can get very expensive. With the hope that the general maintenance will keep them up and operating, but I think one year we had to replace a radiator and it was like $4 grand.
And then jump into the capital portion. We closed most items out, and we have, although it doesn't show it in the budget request because it's separate, we have the balance of the the fire truck procurement, right?
That's the only FY27 request.
Correct.
The chief has also submitted an FY28 and an FY30.
Yeah, it was a little unclear and it allowed me to do it, so I looked out.
I think we opened it for 5 years, right?
Yep.
So. And so your balance request is 420?
Correct, and we do realize, so I got a call the other day, some of that stuff for the new truck would be the air packs. I got a call on Wednesday from our sales rep. They're offering discounted rate on air packs, so I could save about $10,000 on that, but we need to purchase those prior to, they won't hold them until after town meeting. We'd need to purchase those beforehand. We do have the 450, but it would reduce it. We'd realize a $10,000 savings on that.
I mean,
It makes sense.
yeah, I mean, we have the money
Say
there. It's half
we have
of
the
the
money appropriated, and we're
Yeah.
going to save it in the
money
long
for the
run.
project, so.
I just didn't want to make that decision myself. When he called me, I'm like, man, you do this to me all the time, but it's
You
the
get the
same
money.
exact.
Yeah, how much are we talking roughly? Roughly, ballpark, what the packs are alone?
Oh,
Because I think you had it in there, right?
so I think the quoted price I had on the high end was close to $8,000. They're gonna sell them to us for $5,700
Each.
for the pack, and then,
Each, yeah. Plus the, got it.
I think that was where the cost saving was in the air packs. So MSA is dropping a new model of the G1 packs that we currently have, which is that would have been the price for the newer ones. So they're expediting out the older packs that they have in stock that match the same exact thing that we have now. So it would be exactly what we have now, just a couple years newer.
And you had that at around 41 on
Yeah.
the quote, so you're talking 30-ish
Yep.
with the discount.
No
we have-
change in function or life expectancy on them?
No, it'll be the same.
Just new bells and whistles on the incoming models?
Yeah, they did a few other stuff to them. I haven't looked at the new R model to compare it, apples to apples, but they're exactly what we're using now, and those are great air packs. We haven't had any complaints with them. We've been in MSA department for years, so we've been very happy with the product.
And your staff has a level of confidence with them because they're
Yep.
proven? Okay. Sounds like common sense to me.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be the same, interchangeable, and save money. When do you need to buy them by? Do you have time to get a procurement over to see it before you execute it?
I have a quote right here. I just need to let them know what to order.
I mean, I don't have any concerns if you guys don't.
No concerns. How many packs are those,
It'll
Chief?
be 4.
And the total's what?
The total bill for 4 air packs is $30,312 on the state bid list.
Sounds good. We're gonna leave the capital request as is then?
I would say if we leave it right where it's at, and then anything that's left over, we'll turn back in like we have in the past. Just in case there's any unforeseen circumstances that come up as we get closer to the end of the project.
Makes sense.
Okay. Any other questions on the capital request for the truck?
Nope.
Do we want to discuss the future ones too over here?
We don't have the clock overhead, so I don't know much
Yeah, I
time is
know. I'm trying to
remaining,
look
but-
back at what I had put in for time. I gave him extra time because he had the fire truck procurement to look at tonight too,
Yeah,
or finalize.
yeah, why don't we can, the more we know about the future, the more we can plan for it.
Mhm. Yeah, he's got time. We got another 10 plus minutes. So, your next request was for the
We'll be replacing the command truck.
yep.
So currently for the command apparatus, we're using a 2017 F-250, so we would downsize that to either a 150 or look in the market of a Ford Explorer or something like that that can be used as a command module, something that we can run around in meetings with that's a little more fuel efficient. I did look at I did take a look at the all-electric Lightning. Greenfield Fire currently rolled one out. It doesn't really seem to fit the needs of what we'd be using it for all around. I don't think the mileage. I don't think the mileage for the fuel cell is there on those or the charging stations that we have. To get that quick charge, we'd really need to build some big infrastructure into it. They use it. It works really good for them for their inspection department, but that's about it. Other than that, it's taken about 14 to 18 hours to charge that thing back up to 100%. So I was leaning more towards the Ford Explorer type of option hybrid, so it'd still be fuel efficient with that battery option along with it. But
So not the F-150 that you have on the form?
yeah, I think that's still up in the air.
Okay,
Kind of use that as the placeholder.
okay.
Look, it's nice to have the pickup truck, but we would still maintain that the truck that we're currently using would fall back into the fleet for a daily use for the full-time staff in and around.
Because they're utilizing a repurposed one right now, right?
Correct.
So that repurposed one would then,
I
Go
think
to
we
surplus, or-
surplused it from
No, it's a
highway,
surplus model
and
from
they put it-
highway.
put a couple surplus trucks together into one good one, if I remember.
Yeah, we took two trucks and built one workable truck. It's had its issues, you know, it's been in the shop for some problems. The guys are very diligent about doing the minor maintenance on it, up and keeping, they just did the brakes on it the other day, so.
so it would
But
then
it's starting to see its age.
conceivably that would be surplused out and perhaps auctioned for whatever it may be worth to whomever.
I believe that's what we did with the parts they didn't use.
Yeah, those are gone, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think we
We
surplused them
surplus
and
everything
auctioned them
else,
off.
This will be a complete truck this time.
Yeah.
This is the last one.
It's a deal.
Not parts.
And that would bring us all in line with, other than the large pumper trucks, just about everything will be gas, other than the large trucks are still diesels.
Other questions on that request at this point?
Nope.
And your replacement for rescue in 8 in 2030?
Yeah, so at the next large purchase, and I'm just trying to guess at, you know, about $1 million. So we'd be replacing the heavy rescue that we currently have along with engine 8 and making a true pumper rescue truck. So I'd be giving you guys 2 trucks for one. That would reduce the fleet, hopefully reducing the maintenance and the overall cost of the town. You know, when you start replacing these trucks at $1 million, the old adage that, well, we've always had them and we just need to keep replacing them as they go along doesn't fit the narrative that of us being fiscally and financially responsible to the town. So trying to reduce the fleet, build multi-purpose trucks so it fits multi-roles, makes our footprint a little smaller and reduces the cost of the town. But hopefully see a reduction in the cost of the purchasing these trucks, and it wouldn't be that much, but I can't imagine that it's gonna go down much more than what it is at this point in time. We're looking at, you know, $860 for a truck right now, so. And again, neither one of those trucks are breaking down and in the shop and in constant need of repair, so if we have some wiggle room on where we can go with those, if, you know, as it fits the town's needs.
Okay.
I assume although you couldn't go out to 2031, it'd probably be broke over 2 years again, most
Yeah.
likely.
That's what I looked at. I mean, we could look at a lease program where we do it over 2 or 3 years. I've seen some trucks put a 20-year note. Some towns have put a 20-year note on. I believe Orange did that with the 2 that they just purchased. Doesn't make much sense to
Imagine
me,
the
but
interest you're paying on that.
I mean, I
though.
think if you have them, and the quicker we can pay them off, the better off we are. But there are options out there for it.
Well, a couple years over 20 versus 20.
Yeah.
It's-
I would feel a
Maybe
little
makes
better than that.
Okay. Questions on it?
Just
I
still
noticed
processing 20-year note on a,
on a, is it a 10-year? Is it a 20-year lifespan? and an FPA
NFPA says 20, so.
says 20, yeah, so they put the note for the life. It becomes operating expense then, because you do it again when it's up.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, if
Pretty
you're
much.
following it,
And at least it keeps the budget consistent.
it's one way to look at it. I noticed it said fourth priority, but you didn't have a third, right?
No.
All right, moving on to EMS specifically, or EMD, not EMS.
I don't believe there's any changes in that.
Looks like the software went up 500 net increase.
Yeah, when I look back at last year's payment, it was higher than what we budgeted, I believe. Or the anticipation is there. That one was level funded though, right? Was there a reduction across the,
No, it's up 500 for
Okay.
that.
again, we can reduce that from the equipment costs. If we need stuff, through the emergency management department, we purchase it. Most of the time we don't, and we just turn it back in.
Yeah, it looks like the supply line doesn't get used much. So
Yeah. It's there for the just in case, and we do a pretty good job of not needing it.
yeah, it's a department you always want to have money that you never use.
That is true.
Questions on that?
No.
Okay. The procurement for the fire truck. So we're actually at that stage. Board looked at it last week. We had a couple items. You were going to talk with them about updating the contract and getting it back to us.
I did get the updated contract to Brian. It's not 100% of where we wanted it to be.
Okay.
I believe those are in your packets for today. So we're gonna let you guys take a look at that and see if you were good with it or go back after them again.
Okay.
They did remove one of the lines. They changed the terms, but it didn't. They changed the terms, but it didn't change the terms. I think they just gave us 30 days to give them a check.
They're gonna send you the invoice 30 days in advance of when they'd like it, not 30 days after the receipt of the truck.
Mm-hmm. It's not that. They'll give us 30 days to pay, but not 30 days after receipt.
Right.
Still 5 days after receipt? Is that right?
Hmm?
Still 5? I have to go
Yeah,
back
it
and
was
look at it.
Still
5
5
days.
business days.
5 days.
And we can do it.
It's 5 calendar days.
Oh, it's a calendar days?
Yeah,
That was
it's not
business.
even business
I mean, the
days.
good thing about it is prior to it being delivered to us, we're down there a couple times to take a look at it. So
Right.
if there's issues at that point in time, we can have that conversation. But I just wanted to give it to you guys to let you make that decision.
And they did strike the cancellation clause. What they did not replace it with is the acknowledgement that it's subject to town meeting approval.
Right.
So we're gonna have that fixed.
Okay.
And I didn't get a chance to follow back up with them because I was in class last week, the end of the week.
The pre-delivery or the pre-acceptance, like pump tests and the full acceptance test stuff, is happening at our location according to this.
They do the pump testing at their location.
Are we doing an acceptance test on location here?
Yeah, we'll run through the truck here with them.
So I guess I still personally struggle a little bit. You're going to bring it here. We haven't said we're accepting it yet, but we only have 5 more days to pay you if we do. Because we haven't run the acceptance test yet. It's one thing if all of those were happening at their site 30 days ahead of time, but I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
Not a fan of agreeing to pay for anything until I know it works as we expect it to.
I mean, we'll be holding the check for those 5 days or for that day, but still, it doesn't give us long.
So Chief, when they conduct the testing on their site, would you be there?
Yeah, we can be.
Because the pump test will happen there.
Yeah, they'll run it through the pump test setup down there.
What's the scope of the tests that happen here?
Basically, what they do is they just run through the pump operations with us. They'll come out and do a training with us in the department, go over any of the nuances with it.
And what's it gonna take to get the cancellation language put in there where it's supposed to be?
The phone call. And the cancellation language, again, as it has been removed, it's just to make sure that there's a recognition. It's state law anyhow. They can't supersede and we can't waive state law. But just a recognition that it's all subject to town meeting approval, so.
I'd feel more comfortable if whatever we're signing has that language in there, and I don't know. I understand we want to move it along, but
We can bring it back to next meeting and get it corrected.
Absolutely.
Did, so they might have changed it to 30, but they changed it to 1530. It says 15 days, 30 in parentheses. So when we go back to them to fix that too, can we push that we get 15, at least 15 after? They can give it to us 15 days early, but we'll pay it up to 15 days after instead of 5, because 5 is, just come on.
Okay. We'll get that all changed for your next review.
Any other questions from the finance team on it or capital?
I'm just curious in reading all of the equipment that's coming with it. Milwaukee batteries for $3,500.
Yeah. So there's, I think it's either a 10 or a 20 pack, but it'll also be for the lights and the battery operated vent fan.
Okay.
It's the $300 a pop batteries too. It's the biggest ones, right?
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah. That's an ouchie.
I had to ask the same, I had to call my tool guys.
I think we asked this last time. So
I
like,
reached way back into my previous lifetime and said, hey, are Milwaukee batteries really this expensive? And they're like, oh, those ones you're looking at, yeah.
Okay. So you're not going to Home Depot and getting
No.
them from us?
no.
Okay.
I couldn't even find those on Amazon.
those are the ones that are using the chainsaw at home.
They're big.
They're big. They're heavy.
But it'll power,
lawnmower,
you know,
it's
the
fine.
Same,
stand
it's an air
lights,
lawnmower.
it'll
Yeah.
power the battery operated ventilation fans.
Okay.
It's more their industrial lineup.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Are they rechargeable?
Yes. So, and that's part of the cost driver with them is the recharging stations that go along with them too. So they'll do quick charge, multi batteries at the same time. I can't remember if it was 4 or 6 batteries they charge at the same time, and they'll do the maintainers. They can be put right in the truck, so it runs off the shoreline when it's plugged in, or you know, when the vehicle's moving.
Okay. Anything else on the truck? And yes, if you're looking at the accessory subtotals, there's a typo in there.
Yeah. Linda pointed it out too.
Did she? We caught it last time. Just ignore the first additional equipment. It's not accurate. All right. So we'll see the contract next meeting again, and we're good on budget for now. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Cemetery. Welcome, Holly. The same as last one. Any questions or comments on the 26 or 27 narrative?
One thing that I want to say, which isn't really part of, I guess it's sort of part of the financial piece, but I love the idea that they're taking responsibility and fixing the headstones that are tipped over, because I think it's a really important thing to have happen. So I love that that's happening.
I agree. We were doing some off and on every few years, and it's great to see. So I didn't know we weren't responsible for it. I guess it makes sense, but I didn't know that the town was not responsible for maintaining them or fixing them, but
Yeah, it was interesting.
yeah.
It's hard to go back to the, people 50, 80 years ago and say, hey, your stone fell over, come fix it.
Right. Could you come back to take care of that real quick? I always like seeing the report, so please share when you have some repairs done or, a batch done.
Yep.
I know the board and everybody would probably love to see
Yeah,
the final reports afterward.
yeah, it's always put up on the website, including pictures.
Great. All right, on to budget. Operating budget, level funded.
Yep.
I assume no questions on that?
I did have a question.
Yes.
Holly, was there any research done on when the town took over maintenance of the cemetery? I know there's typically legal responsibilities for people who own the monuments to care for them. Well, years ago, everybody cared for their own lot. If they're on a Saturday or Sunday, there'd be a dozen people with lawnmowers, so it got to be looking like a checkerboard. People died and goldenrod was growing. So I believe there was a town vote to take over maintenance of the cemetery and just do everything. And at the time, I believe we were told, well, you can't just do it on your own. You have to have some kind of a town meeting vote that we're going to expend these funds on the cemetery. I don't recall exactly what the vote was, but it may have included those maintenance of headstones. Now, I tried to locate a classmate of mine has stone tipped over, and she has one distant Vermont relative or something who doesn't care anything about headstones. But and that's probably when you're going to fix. But it's just a thought. There may be some a town record of that vote some time ago, and if not, it's not urgent that we find out. I think we're just moving on.
And we have a line item for it in the budget, and part of it is just to make sure that our cemetery reflects the values of the town and that it looks as good as we can have it look. 'Cause,
I agree, absolutely.
So we are going, we have, I can't think of the name of the woman offhand, it's I can't think of what her name is, but she comes and does a few every year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we emphasize this year to do the fallen monuments, or the fallen stones, I guess. I don't think we have any big monuments, I'm not sure though.
Does Tamara still do that?
Hmm?
Tamara Condi still does that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Voices in my head.
Voices in his head said yes. Yeah, I don't think we have an answer for you, sorry, today. I don't know if it's in our code. You could probably check with the town clerk. He may know. He may have it in our bylaws if we accepted something or adopt something for the care of. Okay, on to the capital request for the cemetery expansion.
Yes.
Questions or comments on the request?
Just, I believe that last time we discussed this, we had considered doing it in 2 phases, but determined that the mobilization costs and really the logistics of it would drive the cost up significantly. So now it's a big amount to bite off, but similar to the conversation we had with the fire chief, we do it now and save substantial money in the long run. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so if we do it in 2 phases, the part that it's not it can't be done in like 2 equal phases of, say, even like 40%, 60%, because the first thing that has to happen is sort of an infrastructure. So we need to build the road that goes up and around to allow, the public, the cemetery people, the funeral home people, everybody, to be able to go up and around, because you don't really have a turnaround in there. The other big thing is the runoff, to make sure that, so any remediation that has to be done for water coming down the hillside and everything, that all has to be done at the beginning anyways. So you would have to, so you bring all your equipment, you bring all your fencing, you bring all of that stuff, you do all that part, and then we would only end up with part of the graves, and most likely only the what I call traditional plots, which would be to hold a regular casket in it. And this is really 3 different types of burial lots that we want to be able to offer to the public, which is traditional, potentially niches to put cremains in, and also offer green burial. So trying to phase it would be difficult because you have to do all of that. And then if we only did part of it, when they come back, you have to get all the fencing back in. Because you have to have all the safety fencing and the security fencing. You'd have to get all of the equipment back, and every time they do anything with that, they charge you. The breakdown, one of the first meetings we had with them, we were not pleasantly surprised to see how much fencing cost. And to even just do that part twice is really kind of ridiculous in cost. I never realized fencing cost that much. I'm assuming a lot of it has to do with actually installing the fencing. And we also, as a cemetery commission, felt it would be disruptive. You're having, you're burying your grandmother over here, and somebody is doing excavation work over there, and you can't really ask the people who are doing the building to stop because then they charge you, and because you've extended it out. So we really feel strongly that a one phase will be the best way to approach it, and we can get it done and over with and open and usable as we slowly run out of, not even slowly, as we have quickly run out of space in the current cemetery area.
You noted that as you finalize the plans, you'll know more firmly versus the current
Yes.
probable cost.
Yeah. So
Do you have an ETA on when you're going to know that?
When I finish the work for them.
So we have, so we do have some money right now to pay for that first part, for them to do all the design documents. The design, I call them design and build. I don't think that's exactly the correct term for a cemetery.
Design and bid?
But, so we do have we still have $44,000 left over from the special article. This one that is 904,910,578,000, and then we have another $200,000 in another fund. I don't know if that's an article. For some reason, and I don't claim to understand why, it shows up somewhere else, and I don't know why, but Brian could explain it.
Sorry.
The $200K that's somewhere else.
We're moving it to a capital project. It's showing up in your 300 funds.
Okay.
It was appropriated last year as capital, though, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
why is
it's
it not?
a question of where it shows up in the chart of accounts.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so what Holly's referring to is like how we handle typical special articles, but the more complex capital investment projects that may have some appropriations, some borrowing, some grants.
Right.
If you have multiple funding sources,
Right.
or it may span multiple years, we're using the 300s for the capital funds.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
so it's not in 491 because of that.
Right. That's where we
Okay.
put the bridges, the school roof projects going there. So
Got it.
Yep.
So they
It's
won't
not
show up
on-
in the department.
Yeah, it's not on my piece of paper that says cemetery.
Exactly. Because it's not 491.
So,
That's-
so it exists, though.
yes, it does.
Okay. So because that's anticipated to be a multi-funded source,
Right.
it's in a different place. But that money, that 200 is towards the 1.3, or is that
Yeah.
engineer? Okay.
Well, towards the 1.3 to, hopefully part of the 1.3, unless it's gone up a little bit more, but right now we're hoping that the original quotes will still stand.
Okay.
We need to get a little bit further on to know some of the final stuff, depending on what hopefully they won't find anything untowards that we need to talk about. And part of their original quote also included money for niches for cremains that will not be the level that we will be going to. We do not need a $1 million stone fence to put it in. So.
Okay.
All right.
Other questions?
I was just gonna say, Holly, I may have asked you this before. I apologize if I did.
No problem.
Because the town is responsible to have a cemetery, do we have, once ours is full, are we on a timeline with the state or with whatever governing, that says you must have a new one opened up and ready to go by X, or?
I don't know. I think we would have to ask legal that question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just wondering how much of a deadline we're up against.
We should ask legal.
We will find out.
I think you should
Okay.
ask legal.
Let's ask
I would have
legal.
no
Okay.
idea.
It's a really good question. Let's ask legal.
It's a really good question. And I'm feeling a little bit more anxiety about it.
As every day passes.
I bet.
There's all kinds of puns in this
I
conversation.
just. Yep. So many. So many.
So, Holly, I don't know if my question is the same as Deb's. Do we have a time frame for when this is going to happen, if everything fell into place, and when it would be usable?
I'm guessing 12 to 15 months.
Yeah, the construction period won't be long.
No.
A lot of it's going to be tree removal and earthwork.
Mhm.
You're trying to make sure there's not ledge or some type of substantial obstruction that would keep you from being able to dedicate an area to vaults or grave sites. So you're looking for about 6 feet of clear space.
Mhm.
So I think it's the earthwork, and then it's the access road,
Right.
and
And runoff.
yeah, and all the stormwater management.
So back
It's
to
just a lot
what
of earthwork.
back to what I said before. What do we expect is a rough timeline on when we're going to have 25% or 75% design plans, like the level that we need to get a more accurate estimate of probable
I don't think
cost
there's-
and be ready to go to bid if we got funding?
Any reason you couldn't go to bid late summer and award your contract? So whether you start this year or whether you do it first at the beginning of next year.
Physically work, you mean
Right.
starts in,
Right.
in calendar 27?
But again, a lot of the preliminary design is done.
Right.
It was done in the preliminary phase, so it's really finalizing it and getting you the bid documents, so it could be quicker.
Right. So we really need to have them finalize where the green burial will be, although we've discussed it. So it'll be, if this is the road and this is the old cemetery, the traditional will be more towards the road side, with the green burial being more towards the back.
Got it. Okay. Other questions?
Like I said, I would add my support to doing it all at once. Financially is a good thing. And doing it where you're doing it on the west side of Mountain Road is like 25 years ago or so, we built a new police station, and it was considered then to put the police station there. And people were adamant, no, it was given to the town. It cost $400 back at the time. It wasn't given, but to the town for the purpose of a cemetery expansion. So that's what people wanted to do instead of a police station. So it should be socially acceptable to do people also.
Okay,
Thank you, Dan.
thank you. We're good?
Thank you all.
Thanks,
Have a good
Holly.
evening.
Next up, highway, building, grounds, tree warden.
Is there anything he doesn't do?
I can't say cemetery to that, so no. welcome, sir. Same as last time. Any questions or comments on the 26, 27 highlights, goals, initiatives, challenges?
Nope.
Okay. On to budget. So we all came together and agreed on adding a position during this fiscal year, so you incorporated that cost into the budget
Correct.
along with steps.
Correct.
So that's why there's the significant salary and wage change versus level or nearly level funded. Any questions on that?
So the only thing that's not in here, under the snow and ice removal, the contracting part of it, I know we discussed it in the board meeting and with the finance about having them on here. Didn't know where we wanted to go with putting a number in there, as a placeholder that we discussed, or because it falls under the snow and ice, about overexpending on it, and then put a number in it for the following year. How would you like me to proceed with that?
Can I ask what the past year was?
This is the first year.
Oh,
Because we just started it.
Yeah.
These, we don't know where that's going to land nor where the snow wages that we're used to budgeting for are going to land because of the changes.
Right.
The snow wages are in the permanent salary and
Those
wage,
everything
right?
is.
So I don't know what you all think, but I would propose we take another look at it as we get closer to finalizing the budget, and we'll have more storms, or maybe no more storms under our belt, and the season will be hopefully getting more towards the end of it, and maybe you'll have a better sense of A, what that's costing, and B, how are our normal snow wages performing, and so is there some shift funds there that offsets that new expense some, and then what is that net?
I was
Net
gonna ask
impact.
if we could wait till it gets closer to the end of the budget for that reason.
I mean, I think to be accurate, that's
I think that
the
makes
best we
sense.
can do.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're looking at like late February, is that, we're looking at for budget time frame that you wanna see a number?
Our last regular budget meeting is,
End of February, and then March, we finalize the budget, make final adjustments, and then prepare a town meeting warrant.
So another month or so and see where we're at?
We can at least give you a 3-month snapshot of what it's looking like.
yeah,
I'd say no later than, I think we have 3 meetings in March.
That sounds correct.
So I would say at the absolute latest, that maybe the second meeting in March, which would give them a little bit more
Okay,
runway.
we can do that.
Thank you.
you're more generous than me. I was gonna say the 23rd is the last one, which is the anything else and anything left, along with the last departments. But that's fine. So we wanna target the first March one?
Second March one.
2nd March,
Yeah.
what date is that? Sorry,
Let me pull that up.
16th.
16th, so have it in before that.
All right, so we'll get a summary on what you think that, because we're gonna probably wanna add, you've added that as a new expense line, I assume? It's a new expense line, separate.
So yes, we have the expense line from last year because we used them once, so Deb created it last year, so there is an expense line in there for it, under snow removal, snow contract removal. Right with the snow and ice material,
Is it?
yep.
Am I just not looking in the right spot? Oh yeah, I'm not looking in the right spot. Thank you. Got it.
529-100.
Yep, got it now. Okay.
So I'll let you know where we're at that point, and then get that entered, and then
I'll expect your weather forecast to incorporate it in there too. For the rest of the season.
That'll be correct.
Whether or not you saw your shadow, So we'll see that then. How about the rest of the budget? Any other questions or concerns throughout the operating budgets?
Don't believe so. Did you budget the $1 for the wheel loader?
It's in there. You didn't take it all when we were closing your accounts, remember?
Oh, that's right. We did leave you $1.
Get the $1 left.
No, there was nothing else that jumped out at me.
Everything else was level funded.
On to capital. In order.
Absolutely.
Number 1, Ridge Road.
Number 1, Ridge Road. So we've been constantly fixing, repairing, patching Ridge Road. When Ridge Road was constructed, it wasn't quite to the standards of what road standards were. Actually, I don't know what the road standards were back then and what the town expected when they took it over. But it's a little short of what our standards are now, and the condition of it has been showing it for quite a while now. So we're at the point of where this is not a mill and overlay like most of our roads are. This will be a full reclaim down to gravel, which crushes up all the existing asphalt now. It grinds it all in and makes a very good base. There's 2 stormwater structures that'll get added and further up the road. We're currently working on rebuilding all the existing ones now, and we'll have that done by late springtime to save on expenses of this. This will include installing 2 new stormwater catch basins, all new curbing, all new asphalt. The swale that runs, it's a curtain drain type thing on the side of the road. That'll all get ripped out and be replaced and brought up to the stormwater. What the stormwater meets are now. Right now it does not. The pipe is undersized that's in there. All the riprap will all be replaced. There is currently 2 deeds for runoff right now. The contractor had deeded rights.
Yes.
That there's actually water runoff that goes down between personal property and then makes it down to the town property where all the runoff is caught. So we need to work on that also with the surveyor. But it can be changed. So there can be a trunk line that's added into the existing structures now and eliminate those 2 completely. Or if everything is deeded and recorded the right way, then just leave them as they are. I think we have 2 options with that.
You have funding in here to handle it either way? Or in the estimate?
It's in the estimate.
I have so many questions, but not for tonight. I guess the only one is who's responsible for it if it stayed, like the ladder, if it stayed as is and was deeded properly, is it ours to maintain?
It is.
Well, if town meeting didn't take the property correctly when you
Correct.
inherited the layout, and therefore we don't have legal rights to the easements that we should have, you're discharging water onto property that we would have to correct. So there may be
It's our water, but we may not have rights to repair and maintain it like we
Right.
need to.
The contractor did when it was built, but how it was
Doesn't mean
taken with
conveyed
the
to
town.
us,
The
or-
town didn't take
Right.
those
Got it.
from.
we didn't see
what
the
the
language in the
understanding is.
taking document.
So we may need to either see if that could be done now or switch them over to not need that anymore.
Correct.
Okay.
And then we have to work with the residents to remove a structure if there is one
We don't
on the property.
have rights to the property to where it is. Do we have to take it away?
Fair. I think we need to make them
cap it
aware
and
that it's
move on.
there. We need to have a
It
conversation.
should be in
with
their deed. They bought the property.
them. You would assume.
It should be, yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going down the rabbit hole and I don't want to. Stop there. That's,
So in this estimate, I had asked the engineers to widen a couple of the corners on it because they get narrowed way down for two-way traffic. Not that there's a lot of traffic up there, and it's been that way for 20 plus years. With looking into that, it's going to add a retaining wall, a $42,000 retaining wall to it, to the project. Is it worth it for a little bit wider turns now? And the road has been like that forever. Right now, fire apparatus gets up at fine. School buses get up and down at fine. But I think we want to leave it in there as an option. If we can get a little bit out of the road and not put the wall in, I'd rather go with that instead of putting a $42,000 wall in, which causes another maintenance issue. Those walls are not cheap to maintain.
How much does it actually get us? Like, how much road are we gaining here with this?
So it's excavating 8 feet to gain 4 feet, because the wall's going to take about 4 feet of that.
Okay.
and it's the narrowest point right now is that sharp corner at the top of the hill.
So it's the same width as the road, but making the corner is what makes it narrow. So
There's
the
no
road
turning
itself,
radius.
the paved surface itself right now is not narrow on the corner. It's just taking the corner makes it narrower.
Right, because you don't have turning radius for any
Correct.
kind of wheelbase to not need more than that normal width.
Correct.
So you submitted it within there, we can always carve it out later if we decide we don't want it, or we find site conditions where we can get closer without needing it, right?
Correct.
I don't know if we had a contingencies conversation this year with capital or in general. I saw 10. It doesn't really give me the warmest feeling the way costs have been the last handful of years, that 10% is enough cushion. Not that I want to make things more expensive, but I just want to be thoughtful.
Wasn't it 20 in past
I
years?
think so.
Am I
We were doing
remembering that
20.
right?
If you didn't have one provided, we were using 20, correct?
Okay.
And I know they provided one, but
I think Bill put one in here, yes.
10, yeah, 10 and
Yeah.
10.
So you would like to see that at 20 then?
I'm putting it out as a conversation item. Like, just be aware of. I'm not saying we do or don't change it, but
Okay.
be aware of. Don't know if there was a recommendation from everyone if we want to see it at 20 or not. Downside is we don't do what we planned, or we go back and ask for more money, and that's not fun either.
That's not fun.
Have we used the contingency in the past?
Yes, I think we did on the Bridge Street project, I think, because there was some overages on that. Not all of it.
Was that probably a 10% too?
No, that one I think probably was 20, I think.
The wall.
Yeah, the wall and the repave part.
Then I would say let's put it in at 20. I'd rather go over and be able to have some money come back than have to come back and say we need more. That would be my opinion.
I don't know that I've ever worked a capital project that didn't have a contingency in there, and 20 is a reasonable number.
Okay.
To Deb's point and others, it's easier to give it back than ask for more.
And knowing we won't necessarily get every project started or done this year, by the time we're actually buying them, the numbers will be a little more viable. If we have 20% in there to stay at the number it is, then
Mhm.
need to go up in a year or two.
Okay.
Okay, so 20.
20. Yep, I made note.
So your number was 878, so we're talking
About
950.
9. And like I say, with that $42,000 wall, I'm really hoping not to use it as a wall and get as much as we can out of that corner without the wall.
So Glenn, the $42,000 for the retaining wall estimate, is that something that the highway department can do?
No, because it's an engineered.
Okay.
It's a very small version of the one on Bridge Street, right?
It's a lot smaller version of the one on Bridge Street.
Okay.
Okay, I gotta ask, if you don't do a wall, what would you do? Just have it be like slope or?
It's just gonna stay like it is, it'll stay a slope.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Wouldn't widen it as much,
Okay.
potentially.
Yeah,
right?
we wouldn't get the width, but again, is 4 feet. Even if we get a few feet out of it, a couple of feet is probably gonna make a big difference out of it. Like I say,
Okay.
I'll find out exactly what we can get without a wall, but it's probably about where we're gonna be.
Okay.
Does a slope create water drainage
Yes, erosion
problems?
and water problems, yep. It'd be more so on the private landowners side of it. It would be to help hold their property back.
Adding the wall.
Correct.
It's to prevent that erosion issues or a
From
different
theirs,
slope on their
yes.
property that we don't have land for, right?
Yep.
Okay, and do we have some funds towards this already?
So we have Chapter 90 funds, I believe there's a little over 400,000 that's in there now. We have the 150,000 that's in the highway maintenance line. We'll have Chapter 90 will be coming out again. I don't know if that fair share is coming out.
I don't know either.
Again, we haven't heard about that, so there'll be another 86,000 coming for Chapter 90. So we're gonna be a little bit short out of the Chapter 90 in the highway maintenance line.
Or you're only gonna need a little bit more, because we're not gonna be funding 950 in appropriation. You've already got most of it.
Yeah.
So, I'd look at that a little more half full than half empty. Okay. Questions on it before we move on?
Just ask a question about the corner and the possible wall.
Mm-hmm.
Have we had complaints, comments, or people just have to slow her down around the corner, or what's the?
There's been no residential complaints.
Okay.
It comes more to me from a plowing aspect
Okay,
than it does anything else. Because when you plow an inside corner like that, you can never clear the whole road.
okay,
So in order to clear the whole road, the actual rear tires of the truck are about 3 feet off over the berm right now
okay,
in order to clear the whole road. But at that point, the edge of your plow is sitting on the top of the curb, and it leaves a ridge of snow on it. So you never get the whole corner of the actual paved surface
okay.
clean because of the radiuses.
All right,
And it's a tight radius.
all right, just gives me a reason, which is good, thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
And even doing that, you're off the road with the vehicle.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just say, and we'll look at this more, we try to be holistic and complete streets about stuff, so
Mhm.
I'm not saying walls are cheap or easy to maintain or any of that, but I wouldn't surely look at cost as a reason to cut it out either.
Yep.
Number 2?
Number 2, roadside mower. So the town has been, so the town of Sunderland, for the first 2 years after Eversource got rid of the roadside mower program, where it was a joint funded between 5 towns, and then the lead town ended up purchasing the mower. Ever since then, town of Sunderland actually let us use their roadside mower for 2 years, until we figured out what we wanted to do financially. I believe I brought it to the Capitol a few years ago and then pulled back on it because of the expense of it, and it was a one function tractor. That's all it was a roadside mower. So we held off and we rented a machine for the last 3 years. This is the 3rd year that we rented. And we've rented a wheeled excavator, 2 different models. The staff really like it. It does a nice job. It's comfortable. And it's more versatile. It can be used as an excavator, can be used as a mower, a finished grading tool. It's a multi-purpose machine. So the one that I have presented here from Tri-County is the one that we've actually rented for the last 2 years. It'd be set up as a mower, an excavator. There's actually an attachment for cutting asphalt also. It goes right on the end of it instead of where the bucket is. This big pizza cutter wheel goes on it. And you can hydraulically roll that wheel back and forth to cut asphalt instead of a mechanical saw that an employee is holding. A lot safer in the long run for it also. There's multiple attachments for this machine in the future. It actually make digging graves in a cemetery a lot easier because it rotates 360 degrees instead of just a backhoe that will go 90 degrees. And sometimes you don't have room for that, and we end up digging them by hand. Not that that's a bad thing. Exercise is always good. But if they can be dug mechanically, then that's the way that they should be done. So right now, the average cost of renting this machine up to 6 weeks was $11,000. Last year mowing was a little bit drier, so I think it was like a little over 4 weeks, so it was around $9,000. So I guess it's an average about $10,000 a year to rent this machine. To purchase this machine off the state contract, it's about $247,100 for the attachments that are shown in your packet. So I asked about a lease program because the lease program worked very well for the John Deere loader. So this company is offering a 5-year 0% lease purchase for $49,420, roughly a year for 5 years, with no $1 buyout at the end.
That's
Sorry,
really
Deb.
sad.
Sorry.
Which to Jim's question and my thought last time, you just get it, not you have to return it.
Correct. You
There's just
get
no
it.
buyout.
And I did
just own
double
it.
check with them. Yes, it is yours at the end of that 5 years.
Okay.
And it's a 0% 5-year lease.
Nice.
It does say add 5% for July.
What's that?
At the bottom of the quote, it says add 5% for budget for July. Under the valid for 30 days.
Oh, yes.
So it'll be a little bit higher than those
It'll be a
numbers,
little bit higher. Yep,
unless we start that purchase sooner,
correct.
in theory.
Okay.
Yeah, he was pretty confident with this particular model that it's not a huge increase. The next model up was actually going up almost 50,000, he said? Around $50,000 for the next model up, which is too big for what we need anyways. So I did call back to confirm, even before we met the last meeting, that he's very comfortable with it not being huge increases.
Just maybe something to think about if we do decide to go forward with it, if we appropriated those funds from, say, free cash to be spent in this fiscal year to start instead of next. And you were able to procure it before July, before a price increase potentially, that may save us $15,000 too.
Yep.
So. Questions, comments?
Just,
See if my understanding is accurate. If we're gonna pay about $10,000 a year average for 4 to 6 weeks, or for 20, 25 years, we can pay $10,000 a year for all year round, have the thing all the time. Is that accurate?
So,
Yeah, for
It-
equivalent of 25 years of renting it, yeah.
Yeah.
So you
With a
have it
bunch of
for-
other features and safety and other things we can do.
Yeah, you wouldn't have it just for a month and a half, so you'd have it for the whole year to use for a variety of things. It wouldn't cost you any more than the $10,000 a month you're paying to get it for 6 weeks.
correct. And so right now, you lose
No, it'll cost us 5 times as much for the first 5 years.
first 5 years, yes.
Okay.
And then we'll have, if we kept it for the other 20,
Mm-hmm.
it'd cost us the same amount as if we had just paid 10 a year for 25 years to rent. Because we're going to pay 50 a year to lease to buy.
For 5 years.
For
For 5
example,
years.
Okay. And we do have maintenance costs, but,
Yeah, there's regular maintenance costs
yeah.
with it also.
But the
Just
main
like
thing for me was instead of having it for 6 weeks, you get it all year round to do whatever you want to do.
For
with it.
multi-functions.
Yeah,
And what it does is having it, being able to own it is, somebody can be out mowing when it's raining, in between other projects. Right now, when this mower comes for a month, you lose somebody for 6 weeks. So that slows down progress on other projects also. Where if you own it, you can mow a little here, you can mow a little there, fit it in between any downtime for that one person.
it does many more things besides mowing,
Correct.
too.
The maintenance of swales will be so much more productive with it also, again, because it spins 360 degrees. Your setup time is a lot less. With this machine is a lot more versatile than the backhoe. But no, we would not get rid of the backhoe.
Saw that coming, huh?
That was,
Yes.
Since,
that was actually my question, is does that flexibility allow you that to consider your fleet size and overhead for maintenance and insurance and everything else?
I don't think so, because again, the backhoe, we own the backhoe, so it's just maintenance at this point. But it's another option for a front bucket if the loader ever goes down, to load equipment, if it's a snow issue or whatever. So I wouldn't want to give up the second bucket either.
Well, that makes sense. I'm just want to ask the question for the 10,000 people out there.
Absolutely. Yes, Ben.
since other towns, and we rented it before the previous version, would we rent it out to other towns as
We
well
would
for
not.
4 to 6? Okay.
So that question was asked by the board also when I brought this to them. The problem with renting, we take very good care of other people's equipments from all the vendors that we rent from. When the roadside mower went between the 5 towns, there was towns that beat it, used it and abused it and passed it on because it was not theirs. I don't think that's a financial responsibility to rent it out. Now, like I told the board, that if there's a big storm that came around and another town needed it as like a mutual aid type thing, then we would send it with one of our operators.
I was going to say, could you do it like
Under
with
the
an
board's
operator?
discretion, yes. With an
Contract.
operator, absolutely.
Okay.
I know a town did that many years ago for Wendell. They sent a piece of equipment after a bad storm, but it was with one of our operators.
Thanks.
Yep.
So we could hire out with the driver.
Bye, Thomas.
For
A qualified driver, that's all we would, would like. For a fee, absolutely.
Is there a place to house it inside?
Not
That-
yet.
That new highway building?
That's what I was thinking.
Guess we gotta get some bridges done first.
Isn't that your 4th request, the highway building?
That hasn't come
Not this
back
year.
yet.
Hasn't come back this year. It won't come back this year. No. It's coming up.
I was kidding.
On to number 3. Good?
Number 3, replacement of a 2015 F-550 dump truck. Currently, it's 86,000 miles. It's starting to show some age on it. We would be replacing this with a little bit heavier duty of a truck. It's an F600. Talking with the staff, they'd like to see more of a utility maintenance vehicle. Out of this one, it would still have a plow, still have a sander. You'll see that the body that's in your packet, it's not a typical dump body. It's utility body, low profile utility body. So any tools, equipment that gets put into the boxes, it's not a high lift to them. It can store saws, PPE, hand tools, power tools. Hoping to probably put a small diesel transfer pump tank in it also. Right now when we're out on projects, we bring 5-gallon diesel cans with us. All the fuel tanks on them are about 4 feet off the ground, so we're lifting 5-gallon pails. No, they're not heavy, but if we can reduce one more way of an injury, we would put probably a 100-gallon transfer tank on that truck, follow whatever permits are required for the town to have that. So we would always have fuel on board for that also. Right now, this price is based off from the last truck that was just built. I've talked to Brian that I want to do this procurement a little bit differently because I think we can save a lot of money by purchasing the cab and chassis separately and then doing the build outside of their vendor.
Oh, interesting.
Last year, the build price on that truck was around $65,000. The body that we've picked out is right around $15,000. The plow is probably going to be about $11,000 or $12,000. The sander that's on the current truck now that we would be replacing is only a few years old, so that would just need to be rewired onto the new truck. So it'd be a wire and harness and a little bit of time to do that. The controller would all fit, everything. With that being said, I don't want to reduce this amount in case something very, very bad happens to that truck. We've lost a sander in another truck, the truck fire that we had. It melted the sander and it was no good. We're now looking for more truck fires, but if I take that money of that sander out of there and then
Yeah.
something bad happens, then we're gonna be short. So between the body, the plow, the rewiring of the current sander and the lighting system, I'm thinking we're probably gonna come in somewhere around around 100,000 or just a little over. I talked to our Ford salesman. They have a lease option on the cab and chassis only. It's a 3-year at like 7-something%. They had it was 7.6-something% for 24,000 a year. I don't know if I put that on your guys' packet because I just got it. 23,296 a year for 3 years at 7.64. So it's about a almost $5,000 in interest in 3 years if we do the lease program with that. Otherwise, to purchase the truck is 64.5. And it'd be a little over 69,000 in the 3-year lease payment.
The $0 leases sound a lot better, or 0 APR leases
0%.
sound a lot better.
Absolutely.
I'll say.
I'll take a $100 buyout at the end.
Yeah, so I don't think a lease option is a good financial
Right.
decision for this one. But I did want to check.
Glenn, refresh my memory, that 125, does that include any outfitting you guys need, like all your safety lights and that kind of stuff?
Yes,
It does, okay.
Yep.
Would you be able to add that tank
yes.
in there for that, with that? Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So, you know, I know, like I say, I know we're going to be way under budget with this as long as nothing happens to our sander. But I don't want to cut it that close just in case something happens
Yeah.
to the sander. But yes, I think there'll be a chunk of change that would be coming back from this one.
Questions, concerns? Okay. That was your last capital request for this year,
Well,
correct?
not the last one that we talked about with you all. Glenn had some technical difficulties with ClearGov. We do have 2 more.
Okay.
The fourth one was the culvert on Bridge Street to finish that project. That was gonna be hopefully mostly a grant-funded project to replace that culvert. It's failing. We had a camera crew come out and actually send a camera down through it. It's an old corrugated metal one that is collapsed. The reason why we didn't do it, if you all remember, for the Bridge Street project was because of all the permitting. An Army Corps of Engineers in a time frame, it would have slowed that other project way down. That's why we stopped it short, right at that culvert. So the project would pick up right from the end of where the new pavement stopped and go down to the bridge. And I believe, I don't have that number. Bill had that, was that
400,000.
400 something thousand? But we're hoping there's gonna be grant opportunities for that one. It'd be similar to the Wheelock project.
Okay.
Do we have funding towards that already? No.
No,
No, okay.
There's a remainder that we've been working off from the wall phase of the project that you all did,
Right.
and that's been paying for the engineering work
The
that we've been doing.
Okay. Got it. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yep.
but there's not money to fund that if there was no grant though.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Questions on that one? Is that a request that at this point would be something where if you could get a grant, you'd want to do it, and if you can't, we would delay it?
I believe so, yeah. I think Glenn was,
Over the other
Glenn was
items.
looking into,
We're looking at the Eco One Stop.
Okay.
so maybe before we get closer to the end of February-ish, maybe we'll have some answers or follow up with that also.
Number 5?
Hmm?
Okay. Number 5?
I believe that was Complete Streets work for North Street, correct?
Yes.
Isn't
So,
that's not already in motion?
so that's just a reminder that we're working on the engineering phase. But once the design's done and the citizens have given you feedback on what they'd like to see, we'll have a project defined. We just don't have one yet. So
Okay.
just a reminder that that's an open project.
Probably the last 2. I mean, maybe we get grant funds for number 4, but high potential, that's a 28 project. Same with Complete
Correct.
Streets.
Yeah.
I don't expect we're going to have enough that we'll be ready to bring a project or proposal, have, you know, citizen and committee feedback, all that. So it's probably a 28 or 29, but we just put it in front of you since it's one of the 5-year.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things to do once the Church Street Bridge does get done is have the FRCOG come back out and do a couple more different traffic studies, 2 different times a year once that bridge is open, because we're gonna need that for the complete streets also. So I think we get the traffic counters out there probably as soon as that's done.
Okay.
Well, I have a question. We did a complete street, I think, on Erving side, a couple of years ago, maybe?
We've done a few projects
Okay.
on this side.
I know in that discussion, there was some discussion about new street signs.
So we've been doing street signs during the project part of them,
Yeah.
and the ones that on this side of town, once the streets were done, the signs were done.
But we haven't done them holistically across town,
Not
only
across
as they've
town.
done each area. Right.
Correct.
Okay. On to tree warden budget.
Sure. No changes.
Questions, comments, level funded? Good to go? It's going to keep us moving, so if you have questions, please speak up, because we're running a little long. On to buildings and grounds.
Salary wages went up the step, and that's it.
Where am I? Never mind, got it. Questions?
Nope.
Okay. What's that?
Good.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So anybody comes up with any questions about projects or equipment, please reach out. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I do have one question. Are you planning to submit those in ClearGov eventually?
4 and 5?
Any of them?
I did.
Yes, 4 and 5.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We'll get it to you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Sabrina was nice enough to open it back up for me.
We're going to change that. Thank you. All right, on to wastewater and water. Pete, come on up. All right, same as, go ahead.
When you were grabbing everything out of the printer,
Yes.
did you get a copy of the clarifier ones?
Yes. You want me to hand them out?
Yes, because they don't have that in front of them.
All right, while he's handing that out, on wastewater, any questions or comments on narrative?
No.
Okay. On to budget. We'll let you get settled before you have to answer questions, but thank you, sir.
I think we should make him answer them while he's up and walking
Like
around.
on the fly.
They need that down there. So Capital heard this proposal at your meeting last Thursday, but Finance and Select Board have not seen it yet.
Okay. We'll come to that when we get to the capital projects. So operating salary and wages adjusted for steps
For wastewater?
Yep.
Yes.
and
The only one that isn't in there is for me.
He
Oh.
increased all the steps.
huh?
He increased all the steps for the staff
Okay.
because that contract also is up for renewal.
Yeah.
He's communicating that he's at his top step.
Oh. Okay. That's the other piece of that I was
Right.
because. Okay, got it. You increased everywhere you had to, or you needed to.
Right.
Got it. Ordinary expenses are up.
The one expense that went up is sludge removal. There's a little attachment there. We get an estimate every year from Jan over at Franklin County, and it has gone up from 47,000 to 61. I figure I'd round up to 65 to get a little buffer. Just in case we have to pull an extra load out or two.
Again, I mean, it's not level funded. Are there other places that you could take that out of rather than increasing your overall budget?
Do you know, I mean, the only other place that we could probably pull it out of would be Public Works Supply. But I'd hate to cut myself short if something was to happen.
The laboratory testing, is that going down because of some of the equipment we bought?
It will go down. What we have to do next is, once the people who do most of the testing in the lab feel a little bit more proficient with it, then we'll have to let DEP know, and they may want to come out just to see us do it, and then we'll be good to go. But there, once we start using those, there will be a cost savings. It'll be quite a bit, actually.
Is that something that you think will happen by the end of this fiscal year, current fiscal year? Next
I think
6
we'll be
months?
into it, whether or not we'll get the savings right away. I mean, it'll continue.
No, I'm guessing I guess what I'm trying to ask maybe more clearly is, do you think that the staff will be proficient and ready, and you will talk to DEP about it before June 30?
That's my goal, yes.
So then in FY27, we have 17 in there for services. I know we've been increasing it because they're getting more expensive.
Right.
What would you anticipate that to go down by if we're doing that testing? How could we adjust that potentially?
I had that figured out. I don't have those numbers with me.
Something you can get back to us,
Absolutely.
to the
yes.
team? Let us know what we could offset there.
Sure.
Okay. Another one that I was wondering about is with some of the work that we've done and changes and such, the overtime budget doesn't look like it has been needed to the level for years, for a few years running now.
Yes.
So while it's in a different section of the budget, it's still part of your overall budget. There's an opportunity to bring that down as well, some to help offset that expense increase, potentially. So it looks like we've been averaging 25 to 50% usage of that budget. And I understand emergencies and all that. I'm not saying you want to go to bare minimum, but at the same time, maybe taking 5 or 10 out of that.
Yeah.
See what you think, and so you can come back with a recommendation on what you think that could get changed to, what the lab could get changed to. We should get some of that 18.
Okay.
Or if you think there's concerns we're not weighing, let us know.
No, I think once I'll get the number for the lab,
Okay.
and I think the rest we can pull out of the overtime. I'll see what the lab difference is, and then we'll know.
And then your office supply one looks quite over budgeted. I know we already brought that down once, but maybe
Yep.
again. Might be another place to help us get to level. Are lab supplies affected by the equipment change? Is that going up, or is it going down, or no change?
There probably won't be no change on that.
Okay. All right. Other questions?
Can I just make you all aware of something that we're going to change before your next review?
In the operating budget?
Yeah, it's not going to increase, so it's just going to tease out. DEP's asked us to break out Plant 3 from Plant 1 expenses. And so we're going to use the cost code segment and create a subcategory and break out the top expenses. It seems like a lot of extra work, but it's a request that DEP's made of Pete.
Right.
So it's not going to increase your budget. It's just going to create more lines for us to track and report on.
So half of these will get duplicated and be a plant 1 or plant 3 line.
Yeah. Treatment
Totaling
chemicals,
what it was.
electricity,
Right.
maintenance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they want staff time and all that too, or is it just on the
No.
expenses side?
No.
We did say we
Operating.
were not doing staff time.
Yeah, not
Okay, good. A little overly granular there.
We were not doing that.
Good, good.
Did they, what is their reasoning for it? Just,
I think it's similar to the AMP plan.
Okay.
We tried to understand it too. I believe our assumption is that they're trying to make sure that towns are appropriating sufficiently for all the plants, make
Okay.
sure that we're staying on top of maintenance and regular activities. And so if we can tease that out and they can see it in the report, I think that will lead to them feeling a little more confident that we're doing what we're supposed to do.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
Yeah, they're doing that everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. All right. Questions on operating otherwise? Other ideas, questions? Okay. Debt service is, I don't know. Now I'm having trouble following the subtotals everywhere.
yeah,
Is the debt service going up? Is that what I'm seeing here?
it's going up slightly only because your interest is going down slightly. You're getting things are trading off. So you
Oh,
are in the
I
last,
see what you're saying.
after this fiscal year, it's fiscal year 29 that you are done with the Plant 1 debt service. So you have FY 27, 28, 29, that will be your last year on that one. On your Arch Street debt service, you had the first, I think it was the first 8 years at one rate, and then it goes up. So we will see an increase there, but it will be happening at the same time that the Plant 1 debt service is going to be satisfied.
It will be?
It will be. You also have the option after 8 years to pay that off. That was something that you all had asked for, and that was something that we were able to work into the note. So something
Okay.
for us to monitor. But yes, your interest is reducing, but your principal is going up a little bit.
Right. So that's 275,000 a year that we won't have anymore to pay?
Right.
That's a big change. I know you have other projects coming. Anyway.
big ones.
Okay. All right, I guess deciphering the fact that the net of all of those is actually savings, lower,
So
because the capital list is a little messy, but
right.
the debt service ones are. That's another one when you're talking to ClearGov, or not ClearGov, Zobrio. If you didn't, those 700s should be separate too.
You want to isolate the debt service?
I mean, what do you all think? I think like our annual operating like salary and expenses is one thing. I feel like our debt service is another, and our capital is a whole nother. But like in terms of like totals at the top, I would rather them separate. I don't know what all of you think.
I can find a way to curve them out, but I would make the proposal that debt service is an operating cost.
Operating cost.
And
Wonder
we
if you'd
should
say
keep
that.
it as part of the overall year-over-year comparison. I can try to find a way
I
to
can be
tease it out.
convinced. No, I can be convinced.
Okay. But I definitely agree with the special articles.
I mean, in theory, our debt service, whether it's interest or principal, the payments should not change, so that net impact to the budget every year shouldn't be anything.
It should be negligible.
Right.
Until you
Until
satisfy
it disappears,
Right.
until one falls off.
Right.
So, okay. I'll retract my request. All right. Pump stations are level funded.
And they do show up in their own category.
Okay. Any other questions before we go to capital? Capital? Capital. First one is,
Okay, so the first one that I have, this is going to be a little tricky, But anyways, the first one I have for capital would be the stairs in a gravity thickener room with a valve replacement on a gravity thickener. These items come off our AMP, our asset management plan. They all fall under the high risk line, so it's safety and preservation of assets and whatnot.
Can we just clarify, this is at plant 1?
Yeah, this is at POTW number 1.
50K? 50,000?
Yes. They'll come in and once this is approved, obviously, we'll have Time Bond come in and do a proposal. Accurate.
Questions?
Is stairs are metal and just corroding, or?
Yes. Everything downstairs at the wastewater plants, it's a very corrosive atmosphere with all the moisture and the humidity and whatnot.
Bill?
You said Ty and Bond was gonna come in and do what?
Once these get approved,
Yeah.
if they get approved, then we'll have Time Bond come in and give us a more specific proposal.
So the,
These are just
so
a
the
rough,
capital costs could change.
not by much, if at all.
Is this the one that you and I spoke about? Is this one of them?
Yes.
Okay. So Pete reached out and asked me, and this should set the stage, it'll help. There's a handful of repairs, we'll say, 2 or 3 of these where, in speaking with Ty and Bond, depending on how many of them we would do at the same time, there may be cost savings. So rather than asking them to do up estimates in detail for each one of them separate or together without knowing what we might be planning to do, I advise Pete to go ahead and put them in the estimated total cost if each one was done separately. And then once he gets some direction from us on what we may hope to put into this year's plan, he can come back with a better number on which would be lower in theory if we were doing more than one thing.
Right.
For some of these repairs where there may be some economy if they're mobilizing at the same time.
Right. It would make an adjustment on the engineering costs.
Right. And there may be some economy on the contractors and things like that who are coming in based on when we're doing them. So rather than redoing the work 3 times,
Okay.
let's look at them, and then once we have a kind of a rough direction, say hopefully by late February, beginning of March, then you can go back to Ty and Bond and we can get an updated number that may be slightly lower by
Right.
final. Or we can roll with these and have a little bit of savings, hopefully. That's the other way. Because I don't know how much contingency's in here. I don't know if we have a 20% contingency in these numbers or not.
Right, he was saying 20%. Depends how we tease them out, that could change to like 25%.
Savings or more cost? Right.
More. If we do them all as a group,
Yep.
it would probably be cheaper just because of the engineering cost savings.
Okay.
If we split them up, they could be, instead of 20%, could be 25%. A figure.
Engineering cost.
Right.
Okay, not contingency. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
But the numbers you provided us are the higher end.
Yes.
Okay. Does that help some?
Yes, it
Okay.
did.
Yeah, I should have
Thank you.
brought that up in the beginning. Any other questions on that one?
Nope.
No. The one you just handed us also says, or which number is this one now?
That's for number 2.
This is your number 2?
No, that's for POTW.
For number 2. Yeah,
Correct.
okay, all right. We'll do that last?
Sure.
Okay. Tunnel?
So the next one for POTW number 1 is the cracks that are in the wall of the tunnels, in the tunnel between the aeration tanks. It's in the AMP plan, it is an immediate risk. Right now, we're just, that would be the same thing if we decide to go with this. There was an estimate. We would get Time Bond back in with some specialists that deal with that.
Questions? Okay.
Okay, and my, the third one for POTW number one is, at some point, and this can be put out to FY '28, FY '29, is to refurbish two clarifiers out back. Basically replacing the bearings, the weirs, the weir box, the effluent pipe going out. It was recommended to put up, what they call kick plates or toe plates.
Is
which-
that, hold on a second, is that not in our packet?
That's not in our packet, because I'm scrolling for it now and I'm not seeing it.
Did you
Did I
submit
fail you
that one?
all again?
Hmm?
It's the
There was
secondary
clarifiers at
clarifiers.
the POTW number one, and then there was the new request.
I'm not seeing them
In the packet?
in the packet for,
No, I've got it in the
ClearGov?
ClearGov.
Ah,
I
So,
missed one.
it's
My
in there.
apologies.
it's
But-
in ClearGov,
It's in
yes,
ClearGov,
because
but we
Capital reviewed
didn't-
it.
yeah,
But
okay.
it's not in the packet.
But it's not in our packet.
My apologies.
That's okay, continue with what you're saying. So it's repairing clarifiers, POTW number one?
Yes, I'd like to refurbish the two clarifiers, like I mentioned. This doesn't have to be done for FY '27. I just want to put it out there for '28 or '29.
Okay.
It's basically, I know, I looked up the history with the maintenance on those clarifiers when the last time they did any sort of refurbishing. It hasn't been done. I cannot find anything of it. So, it's basically,
50
It's
years,
in-
maybe? 50 years ago when they were put in?
excuse me?
I said, meaning it might have been 50 years ago when they were
Yes.
put in?
Yes, sir. So to refurbish them, the right way to do it would be replace the upper and lower bearings on the shaft. There's some new replacement work on the rake, and the weir box has a couple little leaks in it right now. We've sealed them before when we drain them with some silicone that'll hold them, but we're at the point that we need to seriously think about refurbishing them. But I mean, we can make it till FY '28 or '29 if need be.
What was the dollar amount on that one?
It was 200, I think it was 224,000 per clarifier.
Okay. You had all these small ones, you were teasing us.
These are small ones. Wait till you see the last thing.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
Okay.
And
Question.
that's,
Questions on that one?
Nope.
When you're siliconing to prevent leaks, when they're leaking, where is that going?
it stays in the system, but affects how the tank works, how the clarifier works. It doesn't draft right over the weirs. So, eventually after time, if things get real bad, it'll affect the performance of the tank, which affects our outcome, our numbers, our testing, making permit.
Our ability to clarify?
Yeah.
The bearing, you're sealing you're siliconing to prevent ingress to the bearings? Or
No,
you're-
nothing to do
this
with the
is to
bearings.
Oh, okay,
This is-
this was for
yeah.
the exterior, okay, all right, I was mixing the two.
This
Got
is
it.
basically in the centered around clarifiers. There's a square box. They have weirs, which are like those little pointy, looks like little teeth. So that box, like we had one that had a hole in it. It's holding now, but I mean, that just to let you know, it is starting to get worn. I mean, they're 50 years old, so
But you're preventing ingress into the box?
yes.
Okay. It's not what's coming out of the box, it's what's going into the box. That's the
Correct.
problem. Okay. Other questions? BOTW number 2 clarifier you just handed us?
Yes, so the other day I spoke with the chief operator up there, and he wasn't sure exactly how we're working this with the AMP plan, so I went up there and went over it with him, and basically I asked him to show me what you think is really needs the most attention and what needs to be fixed. And there's a north and a south clarifier up there, and the north clarifier, it's really, really, really bad. And there's some huge safety issues there. There's a lot of rust. In some of the pictures, you'll see the brackets that hold the outer ring. You can actually look through the beam. There's like nothing there. That's a concern, because if that ring drops out, that'll affect how the clarifier runs. There's a catwalk that goes out to the center of the tank. There's some very large I-beams. One end of them, the I-beam's all corroded to nothing pretty much. You can see that in the pictures. And there's a couple pictures of I-beams. If you look at the side of the I-beam, there's actually another I-beam bolted in for support. So that tells me that that original I-beam is gone. It's could be the result of years of no maintenance on it. Since like day one, it looks like the original paint on these beams. If more preventative maintenance was done, we probably wouldn't be in that bad a shape.
But hindsight is 2020, so here we are.
Yeah. The estimate that, how I came up with that number, I guess they had someone come out and look a couple of years ago at the clarifier. And they gave them a quote back then of like $220,000. There's no way it's that amount now. I mean, I'm not an engineer, but it's pretty bad. The other clarifier, large one that they have up there, it's in okay shape. It just needs a little minor stuff here or there.
Okay. And am I correct that these clarifiers are a lot bigger than the clarifiers at POTW1?
Yeah, we could probably
And
take
More than two of ours into
If we had 4 or
one?
5 of them at POTW number 1, we could fit them all into one of these. That's how big they are.
And you just said it's about 200 and something per to do the ones at number 1.
At number 1, yes. This will be more. So my
No, I know, but that's my point.
Right.
Doesn't feel like it's big enough.
Yeah, my
That's all I'm
recommendation.
saying.
My
Like,
recommendation
without having
is,
Ty and Bond go out and evaluate it and give us the probable cost, it feels awfully low if you're telling us 200 each at the other site.
right. So what
That's
I would
all.
like to do, the best way to get an estimate, because a lot of they run both tanks at the same time. They can shut down one tank at a time, shift it. So what I would like to do is arrange with Ethan and with Ty and Bond to, at some point, drain the tank. I'll schedule with Ty and Bond. They could drain it in probably a day and a half. Get Ty and Bond out there so we can see the rake, the components that are underwater, and get a truer estimate of what needs to be done, especially for what they call the North Clarifier.
ASAP. ASAP, I think I
Yes.
think I speak for everybody. Sooner
Yeah,
the better.
ASAP. We don't want the catwalk and the whole centerpiece collapse or tilt, because then it'll destroy the bearings.
Yeah.
And then you'll be replacing the bearings, the motor.
Know where you're going from here is good.
Sorry.
Let's not go there. No, I understand. I appreciate you bringing it to us. We gotta get on top of it. So,
Yep.
and then we'll have to have a conversation with Erving Industries and sort that out, because on how that cost part of it all. So we'll have to dig into that, but we need to get better numbers first.
So, since I get your blessing, I will arrange it. You want me to go ahead and just do it?
Make
Then I
it
will.
so, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, unless you don't have funds somewhere, yeah, do it. You get funds for what they have to do for that. It's not gonna be that expensive.
Shouldn't.
Yeah, okay, get it done, please.
Okay.
Is it unreasonable to expect that results from that can be presented at one of those meetings in March?
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Can you get it? Yeah, I mean, do you have an idea how quickly you can get it done?
I can call him tomorrow and tell him he needs to pick a date to drain it.
Make
Yeah.
it so, number 1.
Ideally, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I would say sooner better. We can get a number by late February and understand it'd be better than March.
Done.
Yep, I'll get a hold of Time Bond
Yep.
and see when they can come out. I'll just tell them we need to do it immediately, and I'll check, see what the process is going on at number 2. Tell them we want to drain it so we can inspect it better. Okay.
As soon as you have a date and you know when they're gonna get it back to you, you let us know. We'll get you on one of the next rounds
Okay.
after that.
Yep.
Okay. Other questions on that one for now?
Pete, can I thank you for putting POTW number 2 and number 1 on the tops of those, but
At our meeting at Capital Plan, I thought you said that it was 249,000 per clarifier, so shouldn't this request be closer to 500,000?
I was you're saying for at POTW number 1,
2,
at number 2?
yeah.
Well, the estimate that they had was a couple of years old, so we're really not gonna get, I mean, I'm gonna say it's gonna be at least that. It could be more, I don't know.
But this is only for one.
This,
This is for one
But,
clarifier?
so let me say
Right.
that again, because now we're confusing terms.
Okay,
The POTW number 2 clarifier proposal for 400,000 is only to fix one of the 2 clarifiers.
it could fix 2, because I look at the south one and there really isn't a whole lot wrong with that. It's the
Okay.
north one.
I
So
hope you're right.
This is weird. They're 2 different clarifiers. So we have the
Okay.
north one, which is a different model like what we have at number 1. It's a round clarifier, square box weirs, same type of setup with a paddle. The south clarifier is another design. It's a round tank with round outer weirs. It runs totally different. One feeds in from the side, one feeds up from the bottom. I don't know why. I mean, they did this in 1977. There's 2 totally different clarifiers on how they run.
okay. Thank you.
So I guess the request, what I'd like to see with time bond is a request for both. Let's,
Yeah,
whole kit and caboodle, what is it gonna cost?
Okay.
yeah.
That will delay it, because then they'll have to switch and drain the other one for the second quote, right?
That's-
Right.
And that's fine. I just,
We'll just start with the worst.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
I would
would
just say if
recommend.
you get a number for the worst one, because it's so much longer for the second one, it'd still be good to see it if it's significantly different, so we have some idea where we're going.
Yeah, from everything that I could see, the south one really doesn't look bad. It's that north one. I actually showed Brian, and it's bad.
Okay.
Pete, backing up a little bit, something we didn't touch on at Capitol was you had said that if you did things like the stairs and the valve replacement, and the tunnel together, there might be some cost savings. Which, are those the ones that you would bundle together?
There's those, and there's a few other items, but I'm just pulling out the worst ones. There's some other ones that we can do in-house, like one of the things on the AMP program was to remove the showers. The cost for that, estimated at the time, was like $2,500. We can do that in-house. It'd be
Okay.
cheaper for us to get a plumber in just to take them out,
Okay.
you know.
But your point is, which ones of the requests are the ones that Ty and Bond said there was some economy if we did them at the same time?
Yeah.
That you put in, which ones?
Right.
So the stairs and the valve at the bottom of the gravity.
You already
thickener,
combined those.
We combined those.
Okay.
And then the other one was the tunnel.
The tunnel, which was the other, yes.
So those, technically 3 things, 2 requests are where the economy is, putting them all together.
Yes, because the other stuff is small. We can, like I said, we can do
Okay.
it in-house.
Well, I'm just trying to think, because if we say yes to one but no to the other, then that has cost effects.
Right.
So just to know that those actually would be one giant request.
Moving on.
So go to water.
Yes, please.
Okay, so for the water, the budget, we're level funded except for salaries, the pay. And then for the capital projects is basically, number 1 was, the first choice was Lillian's Way utility improvements. You have the cost for that there. If you don't have it in front of you, I can tell you.
We
So,
do.
it
Is
is-
it include a 20% contingency though? Because I don't have the detailed breakdown.
On these,
Yes.
yeah, 20%.
It is in there? Okay, thank you.
So for Lillian's Way, the cost was $706,200. It's basically a complete streets. We need to do this because we have bad buried electrical there, and there's bad copper originally when the service lines were put in off the main going to the condos and a couple of the residents. So we had problems with the copper becoming pitted, so therefore we started having water breaks. And one of the times we were up there doing a repair. We managed to blow a transformer out in the street, because the electrical there on Lillian's Way is what they call live buried. Nothing's in conduits. So it's working with water and live buried lines is not good.
Questions on Lillian's Way? Okay.
Can I
Next.
just add
Yep.
to this?
Yep.
This includes the road reconstruction,
Right.
inclusive of the sidewalk repairs. Because we've made multiple patches, so this would fix the entire road surface after the service lines were fixed.
Yeah, complete streets.
It's a complete streets, yes.
Complete streets, right. There's that, and there's also a valve that we're gonna put in the main. Because right now, if we don't put the water to Lillian's Way, we end up shutting off the water to the school. And there's a big loop there, but there should have been one more valve.
We're gonna fix that.
Oh, yeah.
If we're in there, we're fixing it. Okay. Next, River Road.
And the next one was the River Road. It's the same thing. It's like a complete streets. We've had some bad water main breaks on River Road. And there's also some drainage issues. So that'll be a complete streets. That's, the cost came in for that, $1,540,500.
And this would get us from Route 2 to the first rise on River Road. So if you're going down River Road, there's like a change in elevation. So it'd get us from that change in elevation back to Route 2, that 3/4 of a mile stretch. So
You're right.
It doesn't get us to Pratt Street.
it does not get you to Pratt Street. So there would be a second phase at some point, but all the breaks that we've experienced are in this lower section.
Do we fix it?
Right.
So we disturbed that section, the other side. Oh, God. I don't need to know today, but it'd be good to know how much of it is left. Is this 75% of River Road? Is it 60% of River Road? Like, how much are we not addressing with this project? How much of road mile?
We
Distance.
can get that measured for you.
Yeah, I'll
Just
get the
let us know.
measurements for you.
Can I ask why
for
wouldn't
70
we address it all at one time? Aside from costs.
I think that was really starting to wear on us about how expensive and how large of a project this is going to be. Quite disruptive to the residents. We're going to have to put in all the new lines, switch everybody over, then remove all the old stuff. So there will be open trenches for a while and plates and all of that. So I think we were trying to isolate the project area to the problem. To your point, the rest of the water main could have similar obstructions up against it, so we could see another rupture. We've just been very fortunate it hasn't happened anywhere else. So we were just trying to focus on the problem area.
I mean, at least until you get to West High, everyone's impacted whether it's actually their water line and their connection or not, because they're going to have to get there. We go through it potentially to get to their house.
Fair.
So
That is fair.
yeah,
Um,
get it, but
I think maybe this is where Deb's going. I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but is this one of those things where if we were to go back and revisit, now we're talking additional costs because
Oh, absolutely.
secondary mobilization and
Absolutely.
the inconvenience only has an intermission
Absolutely.
as opposed to a one-act play.
Absolutely.
I think I'd like to see it for all of River Road.
So when you say that, are you talking about to the corner where it becomes Pratt Street? It's a bit of a, it can become a slippery slope.
well,
Yeah.
let me ask this question. We did complete streets on Pratt,
Correct.
but we didn't do anything about water or wastewater because we didn't need to.
Correct.
Correct.
So we've done everything else, and we have not. I don't believe I gotta find wood. Have not had water breaks or sewer issues on.
It's just been from that, where that
Yeah.
slope is going down, heading towards the plant.
And drainage and water handling got dealt with during the Pratt Street project last time, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm looking off into the audience for the nod that I'm getting. So, yes. Just kind of following up on that question to where.
Right.
Mhm.
I guess we got to stop somewhere. And I would lean to stopping at Pratt if we've done a lot on Pratt, and hopefully we have no issues there.
I just hate to see a new road, all the work get done there to just get ripped back up or damaged with heavy equipment rolling back over it again and that sort of thing, so.
Okay. So we'll work.
Is it a lot of extra work to look at it both ways?
Yeah,
We already
that's
have it.
We already
what
have
I'm
it
thinking.
one, so,
Yeah, like just an idea of what it would cost.
yeah, we'll get
It
you.
shows I'm getting tired. Duh.
So
follow
we
up.
don't need, I don't need the split then, because that was where I was getting to. So if we're gonna get a quote for the whole thing, then that's fine. That's all I would want anyway.
Quote for the whole
So
thing.
we'll follow up with Joe.
Okay.
Other questions on that one? I know we're running long, so. Okay, I think that's it for you.
That's enough, yes.
You owe us a few things, but
Yeah,
thank
oh, no
you.
problem.
You got a lot of good stuff on here. I'm assuming some of these we could fund from retained earnings, some we obviously can't,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because we have some in capital. I say retained earnings, but wastewater capital improvement.
Well, the two
Okay.
largest ones are your water projects, and
I
we don't
know,
have enough
not
in
the
retained
other
earnings
ones.
for that.
No, yeah.
So we're seeking grant funding.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
Chief, you're up. We may delay the remaining ones till a future meeting.
You got it.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening, Chief. What's in our packet is not or superseded by what's here, right?
So there's a
Or
empty copy.
added.
Right.
All right. First narrative. For any questions or comments?
No.
Okay. Operating budget is the document we have on the bottom there. Step adjustments in salary and wage. Expenses is a slight reduction. Thank you. First one we've seen tonight. We'll take every dollar. Questions on either? I hear none. Capital requests.
So I have two capital requests. First will be the tasers. This all came about, we had a misfire on one of our tasers while we were on a call. We were outside, the officer was outside, it was getting rained on and his taser discharged while it was in the holster. He pulled it out to see what was going on, and it discharged the other taser, the other cartridge. So that got me thinking. We haven't looked at these, and I think we probably got these in 2012 right around the time I came here. Contacted Taser. They no longer are providing replacement parts for the tasers that we currently have, which are X2s. And they're only providing services if you're still under warranty, which obviously our warranty for those X2s probably expired 5 years after we got them. So there's a couple options that we can go with. The reason why I've given you a quote for the Taser 10 is that it carries 10 charges in their individual deployments, meaning when we fired our X2s, it would fire 2 cartridges, 2 prongs. This one, it fires a prong and then we fire another prong, which makes the accuracy much more effective. The quote comes with 6 tasers, and it also comes with all our cartridges and the training that we'll need, because there will be additional training because these will be a new piece of equipment, although we're trained on the X2s. The Taser 10s are completely new. So it will provide us with our first year certification, and then we will obviously have to maintain that, which we currently do now through the budget with our training budget and our firearms budget. So we can do a 5-year plan, or we could just purchase them outright. When I did get this quote for the tasers, as you guys can see up in the top right, it expires next month. So I don't know. Obviously, when I told them we would be looking for the purchase would be in July after the money is appropriated, if so. And they gave me this quote. I reiterated to him in the email I needed it. I won't be looking to do anything until July 1, and so I'm assuming that price could go up in July 1. I don't know. So that's the tasers. If anybody has questions on that.
Did you say it's 10 cartridges in the 10? So you
Correct.
fire individually, not pairs, and you have more than 2 fires now. You have 5 or 10?
5.
5.
You'll need
effectively,
5,
because
yeah,
you need to
'cause you
fire
need 2.
twice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I will say from using the X2s, just so you guys can have a little history on it, it provides you with 2 red dots, which is confusing. I mean, even for me, every time I'd go to certify, I'm not used to looking at the 2 dots, and so I would focus on 1 dot, fire the cartridge, and it would hit, but the other one would be way off the target. Where this, we fire, and then we reassess, find another aiming point, and fire. So it's more like our pistols. And recently speaking with the Berniston chief, Berniston just went with the Taser 10s, and he just raves about them. So
This is the request that can be broken over 5 years, or it could be a one-time capital purchase. So Chief has put it in here as the 5 installments,
Mm-hmm.
but there was an open question when the select board looked at it as to how you wanted to approach that.
Because that's a choice, right?
It's a choice.
it's an option.
And is it a 0? It's no. It's like basically a no interest 5-year
Mhm.
lease to buy, or lease.
I would imagine if I can find out. He just gave me the 5-year, but I
Sure.
can ask him if if there would be a bigger savings if we did just a one-time purchase.
Yeah, I would ask him.
Good.
Be good to know.
Yep.
Otherwise, if there isn't, it'd just be a matter of spreading out the cost or not.
Right.
These have a 5-year warranty on them,
Yep.
and he shows tax on there, which obviously
Tax
you wouldn't
would
pay.
come
But
off.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And he knows that.
Questions? Other questions?
I think mostly curious, where you have individual DART deployments with the new ones, either in your conversations with Chief Palmieri or through the training, does that dictate the spread between the charges where you have more control over it? Like, one of the further away you get those 2 dots, the longer the spread, and the wider the spread between the 2 contact points, the more effectiveness to the target.
Yes.
So this could, in theory,
I don't know specifically, but I would imagine that if you're
at
shooting
close range,
individually,
you can still.
you're going to go
create
shoulder,
your-
you're going to go leg, and you're going to have a huge span in between.
That sounds less and less fun by the minute. Okay.
So yes, I would imagine. And I do think with the accuracy, I mean,
I can
the 2 dots, it does get to be confusing. So, and regardless, I mean, there are Taser 7s that we could look at too that would be cheaper. I would imagine though, just like the X2s, when we got the X2s, those were the latest and the greatest. Now they're out with the 10s, so the 7s probably at some point are going to be, discontinued or whatever. So. But I'm happy to look into it if that's an option that you guys want.
Why buy an iPhone 4 when they got an 18? Nostalgia?
I think that's an X1, but okay. Next.
I actually have a
Or
question.
did you have a
for
question?
Chief
Oh,
on the
go ahead.
tasers. Chief, you say that the current ones that they're carrying, per your memo, there's questions about usability of them.
Mm-hmm.
Would this be something that would rank to the height of an emergent request?
So the reason why this request was brought to you guys was because we had that discharge. So we've taken that taser completely offline. I can't have the officers pulling it out, obviously, and having another discharge.
Absolutely.
So we're down a taser as it is. Officers are having to share a taser, pass it on to the next officer, which becomes an issue. So yes, I would put it up there that it is a priority.
As in,
Officer
like,
safety and the public safety.
special town meeting coming up priority?
It's a
Just
really,
throwing it out there.
really good question.
The
It's
tasers
a-
you currently have now are only have 5 years of useful life. too.
So I never knew this, Thomas, until I started looking into this issue. Taser recommends 5-year life
Okay,
expectancy.
I don't know if this is even a thing, but what's the sense in owning them after 5 years then? Is there like a different plan where you don't own them and then you go into releasing them after
Oh.
5 years?
Interesting.
Because I mean, if it is only 5 years, technically after we pay for 5 years, if we were to lease, then the useful life is done.
I've never
I don't
heard of
think- I
anybody
think that's
leasing
something that-
tasers, but
We shouldn't be extending past its useful life if
Mm.
just personal thoughts.
Oh, ask them, if you can ask them this, is it the cartridge or the actual gun? Because the cartridges are replaced and replaceable.
cartridges are specific to the X2s.
Yeah, but you replace them. You use them up, you
Yes.
replace them, whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if the useful life is actually the cartridges.
Yeah,
So
I
if
don't
you
know.
didn't
I'm just-
fire them for a while, they do expire. Not the,
No, it's the guns because
It
the
is the
cartridges
guns?
do expire and they have an
Okay.
expiration date on them.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. It's a really good question.
But I can find out.
Yeah, and I would also agree. I think this is something that we should jump on.
Well, we'll talk about special town meeting in hopefully in less than 5 minutes because we're running out of time here. So I think it sounds like we want to put that on.
Potentially, yeah.
And so if you can get that answer to us this week about whether there's a lesser buy price than the 5-year price, if it's outright, that'd be good to know.
I'll get an updated quote, mate. I'll email the guy tomorrow. He's been very responsive, so.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, I'm thinking like, do they have a turn-in program? Like at the end of 5 years, you can turn them in and maybe you get a discount
Yeah, that's
on
what
the
I
next
kinda what I was
purchase
wondering
or.
too, yeah.
And
Right.
Chief, I assume this goes without saying, but the officer this happened to is okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, there was 3 of us, and honestly, if they told me the story, I wouldn't have believed it if I wasn't there. It was crazy. It was crazy.
I bet.
So that's the taser. I will get those answers, and I will get back to you folks, hopefully before the week is out.
Okay.
And then the other one, quickly, is just another cruiser replacement. I am looking to replace Cruiser 3, which is a 2020. It was our first hybrid. I did submit, I believe, I missed the meeting with you folks to discuss it, but Chairman Smith had asked me to submit some maintenance records, and so I went back and I did put that into ClearGov. And you guys can see, last year we did have some $1,000, $3,000 expenses on that cruiser. It's probably somewhere up around high 80s right now. When I did this originally, it was 83 or 84,000. And so it's something that we, as we've experienced, when we go down a car, it does become a problem for us. There was times I just having the highway guys pick me up at work, or I was driving their pickup truck, and it does become an issue with our cruisers.
Question?
No.
Chief, is there any cost savings between the hybrid over the years and a regular gas model?
If I had to guess, Selectman Benberry, I would say definitely on the hybrids we've saved on gas. I'd be more than happy to look at the numbers, but we just replaced our last gas cruiser. But we could go back and look at old records of what we spent on those. I know Glenn's gone, but Glenn has given me the printout for the fuel usage. I do know that, I mean, just the car sits there and idles and it goes into a shutdown mode, so you are saving
Okay.
compared to the gas.
Speed-wise, is there?
The pickup is a little weird, like when you go to give it the gas, it doesn't feel like it gives you that acceleration. I've heard staff complain about that, not just our staff, but in general. Other than that, there's no lack of speed, pursuitability, things like that.
Thank you.
That cut over from electric to gas.
Yeah.
That delay there.
That was, I think I mentioned that at our meeting when we talked about it. this, actually, the one we're talking about replacing, I was assigned to that cruiser, and that was always a funky thing for me, was when you have a small window of an opportunity and you accelerate and it goes to Mississippi before it does, and now your window's closed, and so now you have to back off, obviously.
I will just add too, that car was involved in an accident, rear end accident. It's well documented. So I don't know if we've had some wiring issues because of that or whatnot, but it does feel like we have had some issues, lagging issues with that car as well.
If this was approved, what would you do with the existing cruiser?
Whatever you guys want to do with it. We can make it an ACO. We can come back and address the ACO. So currently we have 5, Deb, to your point, we have 5.
Yeah.
We have not got our replacement yet for our car, and so
Yeah.
that is gonna leave us with that gas car, the 2017. What the town decides to do with it, I don't know. We are currently just using it right now, for details, because it's not equipped with, all the equipment, because that's gonna be going into the new car.
Okay. I'm just wondering, I know, would this be something that could be repurposed for like a town vehicle, like a general use? Someone's going to a seminar and they don't want to drive their own car, or they don't have their own car to drive, or I don't know what happens if the cadet goes to the academy, if they have to drive themselves, or if they take a cruiser, how that transportation works. So I'm just thinking, is there a way to repurpose this kind of with a multi-use throughout the town that might be helpful?
That was my thought with Car 4, it was the academy, because we are potentially looking at that as an issue, is send it. I think the last people we sent to the academy, it was under Chief Blair, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they used a highway truck. Wasn't there an old highway truck? Wastewater truck that they had used.
It's
So.
the wastewater pickup that got,
So they got
shared
picked on,
for a
they all
while.
thought that they were highway workers. But, so yes, Deb, I'm sure we could
Okay.
repurpose it.
There's a few calls about wastewater in different towns.
Yes.
What's going
Jeez,
on?
I can see that. Okay.
Anyway,
And so that's it, that's all I have for you folks.
some other questions on that?
And then ACO, we didn't cover it, Chairman Smith, but ACO is level
Yep.
funded as well.
Next.
And no capital request.
Okay,
Perfect.
it's all good.
Thank you, folks.
Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
So it's 9:20, we're already over a bit. We got STM to talk about quickly, I'd like to get before we go. And so I'd say we will delay the other couple budgets that Brian was gonna cover to a future meeting, if that works for everyone.
Sounds perfect.
Okay, and then we
Sorry,
will
Brian.
move on to, I'm sure
hurt.
he's
Not offended.
heartbroken over there. Review a draft STM warrant. Everybody get a chance to look it over?
Mm-hmm.
Substantively, no changes since the board's last review, except things that we pulled, right?
Things that this is the first time you are seeing it in this format.
Sure.
For Article 1, fire was something Chief Wonka brought to your attention at that select board meeting, so I've added that.
Oh, the bills of a prior year, all of that, yep.
Right.
Yep.
Articles 2, 3, and 4 are exactly
Before-
what you saw before.
Before he goes on, just if there's questions on him as he's talking about them, please speak up.
2, 3, and 4 are the result of capital planning committees meeting back in December with department heads and their request to close projects that are finished out to stabilization funds. Article 6 is a request for, actually I should look for Article 5 before I go to 6, shouldn't I?
Yeah, let's not skip 5.
Article 5 is an amended article from what the select board saw regarding the assessor's overlay. So I think I put a note on that when we discussed it, that there was a placeholder. I have since spoken both to the principal assessor and the town accountant and communicated the select board's request to try to also include a $50,000 cushion into the overlay. So the number that they're arriving at is somewhere in the $550,000 range. There was a little disagreement about the exact number in there, so I just rounded to 560 to solve the conversation for tonight. So that's the genesis of that request.
Before you move on.
Yep.
This feels a bit different than the 340 or so that I thought we were all talking about.
Absolutely.
And not 50,000 different. This is 220,000
The
different.
number surprised me as well. My understanding, and I can forward the communication from the assessing office, and that's why I had the town accountant also verify. There is what you all discussed in terms of the deficit after the settlement was paid. There is approximately $50,000 a year in annual abatements and exemptions that are processed. There are approximately $49,000 or $50,000 in outstanding tax liabilities that have not been paid to date. So, not that you have to, but typically they try to hold that in the overlay in case they don't get paid. So they're incorporating that. And there was one other justification, I can't recall at the exact moment. Maybe it was that $50,000 cushion we asked them to incorporate. So they were adding all those numbers back in, and that's how they arrived at the approximately 550.
I'm going to be honest, this is a lot more than what was originally discussed, and I'm a little uncomfortable with that
I
because
hear you.
that is information that should have been presented at that joint meeting. And so to just have it coming out of left field in a warrant
Yeah,
with no explanations, no anything,
yeah.
is a little like, what's going on here? There was a massive conversation at that meeting about numbers. So I am a little I would like a lot more explanation and a lot clearer
Okay.
understanding of those figures, where they're coming at, what is exactly in the overlay account right now,
Yes.
all of that.
Let me send
to
what I
understand this
have
clearly.
to you all tonight, and then I will follow up and get more details from both the assessing office and the accountant's office tomorrow.
Yeah, and I mean, I believe in the last meeting when we spoke about this, at least my take on it, I don't know who brought it up, of the 50,000 was to ensure that we had the 50 to cover the potential liabilities, not to have another 50 in there above and beyond that. So
Okay.
if there's 50 in prior liabilities and 50 a year average liabilities,
Okay.
if the 50 a year average hasn't been paid out yet at all, like if we paid 25 of them, then we only need 25.
Right.
I was only looking to cover those two things,
Got it.
which I would have assumed at worst case was 440
Right.
ish, not 560. So
Right.
maybe 50 of that is the wording. I don't know if the other board members felt differently. I wasn't trying to have a cushion in there beyond what we have for liabilities now this year and potential this year, and that's
Okay.
it.
It's 9:30, I'm just gonna say ditto.
Got it. I will revise and get you all the justification that was emailed, so you can
Thank you,
review
sir.
it. Yep.
Okay.
6 is a request to transfer regarding the health insurance increases that we experienced mid-year.
And did you confirm that 60 split? Is that split is right?
I need to get verification from the treasurer on that piece.
So we didn't get that yet.
Not yet.
There was a question that the split is so high just for wastewater versus the overall. So I just want to make sure that number's
Right.
right.
Can I ask a question about just that article? I understand we have to get the money from somewhere.
Mhm.
And if we have it in free cash, that's fine. But how does, this is not a one-time expense, this is gonna be ongoing. How do we-
Agreed.
I mean, we deal with this because we must, right now.
You must.
But is there any plan for moving forward on health insurance?
This is exactly where we start budgeting for benefits this year,
Okay.
and then build a reasonable expectation for what increases could be for FY27. You're absolutely right. This is an ongoing operational cost.
I think I think when Jen submitted her budget, there is almost an $800,000 increase for the benefits
Yeah.
in her budget.
Yep.
I just ask because typically if it's an ongoing
Yeah.
thing, we don't just take it out of free cash.
We never like to do that.
No,
You're absolutely
we
right.
agree.
Yep.
But
I don't know where we'll find it.
Okay.
That's our job, is to find it. And
Okay.
Right.
this year, I don't know if we're going to have it in operating, even if everybody's level funded as
Right.
best they can. I don't know that it'll be there.
Right.
I wonder if we won't have to be creative for a couple of years
Right.
to try to buffer it somehow without what I always say, which is what you said.
Right. But because
Don't
your
like
tax
to
rate's
do
set,
it out of
this
free
is unfortunately where we are in the year, the only option that's in front of us other than a stabilization transfer. And at that point, it's a half a dozen, one or the other. I mean, you could do a stabilization, a higher threshold to vote, or majority vote for free cash. So.
Thank you.
Article 7 is a article that's being requested by the Massachusetts School Building Authority. This is their language from their council. other than the template where we put in our information specific to our project. So this is exactly what they're looking for, and just for clarity's sake, you've already appropriated the $200,000. It's not asking for a new $200,000. It's just saying that it is available for this project. And that is time sensitive. We're looking to be accepted in for March, and they give you a 90-day window. So if you don't do it at the special, we would still have until the annual town meeting to get through approval. But if we miss that by June, we would be up against our deadline.
Brian, do we already have a line item for that 200,000?
Yes, sir.
Can we put the line item in the Article 7?
I absolutely can do that for you. Absolutely. The next one is a request. This is working draft of an article. It's gone to legal, and it's a request from the school committee. The school committee is asking to have the authorization to appoint the secondary representatives to the technical school in Gilmontague. It's been a request that they've been pondering for a few months now, and in October they sent that request over in preparation for town meeting season. So I know that one of the representatives has sent some feedback to the school committee about this request. I don't know if that will change what the school committee is looking for, so that's what the genesis of this request.
Brian, it's town moderator that appoints those seats right now, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
We can't find a bylaw or a town meeting vote. This is why that's the case.
Okay.
We're looking to see if there was anything, at least as in regards to the Franklin County Technical School, if there was something in the enabling statute that was passed. In terms of your Gil Montague relationship, that is a service agreement. So I have not seen language in it that designates the town moderator.
Okay. Do you
So
know
that would be
offhand what
practice.
other communities do? Is it their school committees that would make these type of appointments?
So that's a great question. I can follow up and ask the others.
Okay.
That's it.
Tasers.
Though it
I-
sounds like you would
Tasers,
like
yeah, I
to
was
have
gonna
tasers.
say tasers.
I'd like to see the tasers on here.
Modify for your next
No
review.
argument.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
let's
have
add
no
it up.
problem.
That makes sense.
Am I
Yeah.
putting on
Great suggestion.
$6,000 or am I putting on $30,000?
Let's put it on at 30,
30.
Okay,
I think, and
Yeah, 30.
Yeah.
got it.
it does look like they have upgrade programs and trade-ins and things like that when I was
He'll
looking real
have-
quickly, so.
hopefully he has more information for us.
Yep.
Source free
Exactly.
cash or capital stabilization?
I'm sorry, what?
Your funding source, free
Yeah.
cash or stabilization?
Capital stabilization.
Capital stabilization. It just changes the way I structure the article.
I mean, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other to me. So I would say if we have the free cash, let's free cash it.
We've moved to taking everything out of capital and then putting free cash in the last couple of years, so that everything capital came from capital and then
Okay.
put free cash in. So I don't know if we just want to stick with that method that it
6 of
comes
one,
out
half
of there.
dozen of the other.
Yeah, so
Structure it that way.
capital.
You got it.
Free cash was certified,
Correct.
which I think I forwarded to everybody.
Yes.
1.4 million
Mm-hmm.
and change. That also, we got retained earnings are certified, right?
Yes.
So there is the potential for the health insurance split that we could take the wastewater portion of the wastewater retained earnings.
That's how I structured it. Oh, no, I didn't. You're right.
No, you didn't, did you?
I broke it out for the deposit. You're
You
right.
broke it
didn't.
out for the deposit, but not the source, right?
That's true. I could take
So only
it from
bring that
retained.
up to say, like, we could take that out. They do have retained earnings. There is money.
That's correct.
That is the only other place we have money to take out. And I believe
Substantial.
it's like $650,000
That's
in
correct.
there. So,
Yep.
I mean, partly to operating, just from a sheer operating cost. And right, it was not going to help us in the future, but I would encourage us to split it and take some from there.
Oh,
not
make that
take
change.
it out of free cash if you're all okay with that.
Okay.
I'll make that change.
Right.
You got it.
That 1.4 sounded like a big number. We have lots of requests, and we're already burning a lot of it in this STM project. So,
Mm-hmm.
questions or concerns on the STM? Can you remind me the date? Because I don't think I put it in my calendar that we
February
were
19th is the date that
Yeah.
we're looking at.
February 19th,
So Thursday.
which is a board meeting night.
It's a Thursday.
We moved our meeting to that night, which is why I didn't put it on the calendar because I already have the meeting on the calendar.
Right.
Because we're gonna convene before, we'll have probably short business and then, plan to do the STM at 7
Here?
here.
Okay,
And then if we need, the board will resume regular business after.
okay.
We've already reserved this location. Council's reviewing your draft. I just need the town clerk's confirmed. I just need to confirm with the moderator.
Okay, and B and C confirmed?
Hmm?
Okay. Making sure broadcast was confirmed because it's an odd day for us, so
Yes.
we're good. All right. Anything else for joint?
I just had one question. Typically, the finance committee would recommend these articles, yes? I'd just like the record to show that because there's something concerning the assessors and the school committee, that I'd like to recuse myself from that vote to recommend. So there's no hint of a conflict anywhere,
Okay.
if there is such a vote taking place.
What I heard was some questions, so I'm assuming we want to reconvene to review the STM again before.
I was just gonna ask, are we doing that at our next meeting on the 26th? Would that be-
That gives you enough time?
Gives you enough time.
All right, then yeah, we can do it at the
Okay.
26th, we'll do it at the end.
Okay.
But our goal
And noted.
should be to approve that night, amend and approve that night, because that only gives us 3 weeks to finalize, post, mail,
I know.
do everything you traditionally do.
And we gotta do it unless, we gotta have it all done in a week.
Right.
It's gonna be out 2 weeks early, so. To that point, if we can get most of the answers this week and send that out on by Monday,
That
this
should be
coming Monday, then everybody has a week to review it. If anybody has further questions, they can let Brian know before, so we're prepared.
Got it.
That's good. The only thing before we adjourn that I just wanted to point out for Finance committee, our March meeting is on the calendar for Monday. It is actually Tuesday, the 3rd, just so everybody's clear on that. And then we did last year, and I think it was just capital scheduled it, so it didn't make the budget calendar. But we typically meet usually 3 times before we present the budget. We don't have a February meeting scheduled, so I don't know if we wanted to just schedule for February 5th. That would be a month after we met in January, because we normally would to review stuff.
I'm not available. I have a EMS advisory committee on the 5th. But if everybody else can.
Okay, I'm just getting caught up on minutes and realize that we usually meet at least 3 times before we recommend the budget, so. Crickets.
It's the quietest it's been all
Ben,
night.
is that yes, no, maybe? What's Capital want to do?
Or another night that would work.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
The date was the 4th of February?
The
Say 5th, you said?
I was thinking the 5th.
You should,
Thursday.
She said the 5th, and I said
Okay.
I
Yeah.
won't be there.
Jake
I was
won't be able to
fixing
come,
the
but-
other.
I got you.
Sure.
Did I hear
That
yes, the
works for
5th
me.
work for everybody?
Yep.
Capital wise, okay.
Promise I'll have minutes for us to review at that meeting.
All right. That'll motion to adjourn the joint meeting at 9:37 and continue the board meeting.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Before we go to executive, is there anything else on IT you guys want to return to, or are you good till next week?
I'm good to
I'm good for now, but
Okay.
look forward to resuming it.
I'm sorry?
I said, I am good for now, but I look forward to resuming the chat next
All
time.
right, sounds good. Would you be willing to make the second executive once I do the first? Is it security again?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, with that, I'll move that we go into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining. If an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body and the chair so declares, I do so declare. New England Benevolent Police Association, Local 121, Police Unit. We will not return to regular session. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Brian,
Aye.
call the roll.
Selectman Moyne,
Aye.
Chairman Smith,
Aye.
Selectman Benbury,
Aye.
Okay, and following that, I move we go into executive session pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A4, to discuss the deployment of security personnel or devices or strategy with respect thereto. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, roll call vote.
Selectman Moyne,
Aye.
Selectman Benbury.
Aye.
And I'm abstaining.
Yes.
Thank you. Everyone, have a good night.